Oilers, in all honesty, probably means more to the fans than it does to the players.
Yeah.
The players, they want to win this game because winning's fun and we're playing well and we want to continue this trend of going forward. Whatever team, one of the teams can come out tonight and win this game 10-0. It has no bearing on what happens the rest of the season come playoff time. But the Oilers are in such a good place right now. They want to finish that going into the Christmas break. They have, 5-6 days off. They've got tonight and 3 games after that. Run the table. Look at the Christmas you're going to have, how good it's going to be with family and friends with an extended period off to feel good about yourself. So to me, that's why this game is important to the Edmonton Oilers.
Darnell Nurse.
Best defenseman for the Oilers right now, and has been for 7 weeks.
All right, so just to illustrate the point, 3 goals, 12 points in the last 17 games, plus 16. He doesn't play in the first unit power play either.
And doesn't play with Connor McDavid's line either. He's usually out with either Leon or another line.
Right.
I think I mean, it could be off by 1 or 2, but I think he's gone 14 games in a row where he's been even or plus.
Yeah.
Like he hasn't had a minus.
Well,
night.
the only reason why he wasn't a plus in the last game is because Stuart Skinner turned the puck over on the baton exchange on the Oilers.
So right now the way he's playing, he's been the Oilers' best defenseman. Your best defenseman's in your second pairing, and your other pairing has Bouchard and Ekholm. You want to know why the Oilers are so good right now and why they're giving up only 2-something a game? It's because they got to force them. Their top 4 are very good right now, and the second pairing's being anchored by Darnell Nurse, who's playing his best hockey and he is in a number of years. This is what the Oilers were expecting every night when they signed him to the contract. He may never, ever live up to the contract, but he can certainly live up.
It's tough to put up to the points if you're not on the first unit.
It is, but he can certainly he can certainly be the player that they expected him to be, and he has been all season
Zach
long.
Hyman has 5 goals in 5 games since coming back from injury. He's looking like the Zach Hyman of last year.
He is, and the puck's going in from there. The beginning of the season, he had a good start to the year, but he kept hitting posts and missing open nets, and things were hitting him and going off. You can tell puck luck has changed. He missed open nets at the beginning of the season that he would score 100 out of 100 in practice. The other night, he's trying to get out of the way of a Leon Draisaitl shot, and it deflects off his stick and goes in, he gets a goal. So puck luck is changing for Zach Hyman. Who knows? He could have 40, might get 40, 50 goals again by the time this season is over. He is hot. He's playing with the best in the world. He's a power play is getting better. Zach Hyman has got the magic touch again.
Do the Oilers have a prime curse? They've played 2 of their games on prime this year on Monday nights.
I'll tell you in 3 hours.
They lost 3-0 at home to New Jersey. McDavid did not play. It was the second of a back-to-back after they'd won the first 2 games without Connor, winning in Nashville and in Calgary. Mm-hmm. Lost at home to New Jersey 3-0. Actually played pretty well that night. Did not play as well in Montreal in a 3-0 loss.
Well, if they get shut out tonight, Bob, I guarantee you the next time that the Oilers play on Amazon, there will be a faulty refrigeration thing under the ice, and we will somehow find a way to melt the ice so that they don't have to go through another day of the curse.
Yeah, there's no question about it. The Edmonton Oilers, the Florida Panthers, should be an absolute beauty of a game as we go to the Ford keys to the game, brought to you by Ford, the official partner of the Edmonton Oilers, built Ford proud. What do you got, Rob?
Well, to me, it's a start. When you're playing a team that's got 0 goals in back-to-back games and has 1 goal in its last 92, there's not a lot of offensive confidence over there. So if you get a lead in a hockey game, they're going to be questioning whether or not they can come back. So tonight, a lead is huge. Get in on Bobrovsky. A lot of shots early. Test his confidence. Bobrovsky's had great games, but what we know about Sergei Bobrovsky, he is either great or he is not good at all. So the only way to get him not good at all is put a lot of rubber with traffic in front of him tonight in this hockey game.
That's our Inside the Game analyst, Rob Brown. More with Rob and Bryn Griffiths during the end of the roll, first and second intermission. Bob Stauffer with you tonight. Jack Michaels has got the call, and he's ready to go. It is the Edmonton Oilers and the Florida Panthers up next on Ford Dealers NHL Hockey on the Oilers Radio Network.
Over the last decade, the world of work has changed dramatically. It's a change that can cause a disconnect between a company and its employees. But a partnership with Aon can help by making decisions that create a more flexible, engaged, and resilient workforce. Aon's experience and expertise, global understanding, and advanced analytics ensure that every client is better informed and better advised so that they can make better decisions. Whatever the next decade brings, Aon is in the business of better decisions.
Businesses deserve the best protection against cyber threats. Alltech offers state-of-the-art IT and cybersecurity solutions to safeguard digital assets. The team of experts at Alltech are dedicated to providing the highest level of security, ensuring that data remains safe and operations are seamless. With Alltech, businesses can focus on growth while the rest is handled. From advanced threat detection to comprehensive data security, Alltech has it covered. Choose Alltech for reliable and effective cybersecurity. Visit alt-tech.ca now to learn more.
When it comes to your new home, nothing should stop you from getting exactly what you want. Coventry Homes puts your needs front and center. They won't deke past your questions about customization, and making changes won't get you sent to the penalty box. With their customizable designs and flexible options, your game-changing home is within reach. Score big with flexibility. By Coventry Homes, the official builder of the Edmonton Oilers.
Every year, carbon monoxide poisoning kills over 300 Canadians and hospitalizes many more. Carbon monoxide has no smell, taste, or color. But protecting yourself and your family isn't hard. A properly functioning carbon monoxide alarm can detect carbon monoxide and alert you to the danger. We've created a helpful carbon monoxide checklist to help you protect your household. Visit atco.com/co to learn more and download the checklist. ATCO.
Through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave. Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north strong and free. From far and wide, oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Now, tonight's exclusive NHL broadcast.
Shoots and scores! But now it's Draisaitl off to Connor McDavid. Centers Kane for the hat trick. He scores!
All the action called by the voices who know the game inside and out.
This crowd explodes!
Bob Stauffer and Jack Michaels on the Oilers Radio Network.
175 days ago, everything was at stake. Perhaps the biggest game in the history of the Stanley Cup Final, with Edmonton looking to rally all the way down from 3-love in the best-of-7 series. Well, it went to Florida, 2-1. And it was the Panthers and not the Oilers that celebrated the Stanley Cup. Now in mid-December, they meet for the first of two in the regular season. And we're here to bring it to you on the Oilers Radio Network. Alongside Bob Stauffer, I'm Jack Michaels, set for the puck drop. We're not wasting any time. Anton Lundell against Leon Draisaitl. The top 8 scorers for Florida, back 13 of the 18 Edmonton Oilers who played Game 7 on the ice tonight. Lundell wins the opening draw, and we're underway. away with Gustav Forsling shooting it in for the Florida Panthers. Draisaitl between Podkolzin and Kasperi Kapanen, who has the puck left wing and takes a wrist shot that's fielded flawlessly by Sergei Bobrovsky. Nurse and Kulak defensively, and Stuart Skinner in net. He's 5-1 in his last 6 starts with a .942 save percentage. That's your starting lineup, brought to you by Coventry Homes. Flexibility within reach. Get back in the game. Customizable designs from Coventry, the official builder of the Edmonton Oilers. A face-off to Bobrovsky's right. A face-off win for Leon Draisaitl. A shot by Nurse that's deflected away and cleared by Lundell. Chipped up the left-hand side at to Luo Storinen. Stepping up is Ekblad. Florida without its captain tonight, Alexander Barkov, sidelined for a second consecutive game due to an illness. Gustav Forsling will give it up to Sam Reinhart. A blast by Forsling, and that sails wide. The rebound collected and cleared by Draisaitl. Not much on it. It's back through center. Bob, it seems like a lot less than 175 days ago, but here we go, Edmonton, Florida.
Yeah, absolutely. Florida looking to defend better, and the Oilers looking to keep it going.
Yeah, Panthers tied for 24th in the league in goals against, and coming in having scored just 1 goal in the last 211 minutes, and the man who scored that goal is in the lineup tonight, Barkov. Back-to-back shutout losses for Florida. In Calgary on Saturday, 3-0, and in Vancouver, 4-0 on Thursday. Lifted down the right-hand side by Ekholm, reeled in by Connor McDavid. Playing with Nugent Hopkins and Hyman tonight, but McDavid turns it over to Matthew Tkachuk. And the villain of about, I guess you'd say 1.2 million Edmontonians is immediately stymied, and Ekholm is able to reset as both teams make line changes. 1 shot for the Oilers. That was early, and we are set here with Ekholm on a reload. Both teams, a bit of a feeling out process. Henrique unable to make a play on the puck. Nate Schmidt, a little bit of a rework on Florida's defense this year. Subas Balinskis sends it in deep, and Skinner to handle it. A centering pass, and that almost caught Skinner out of the net, much as he was on Saturday afternoon by Vegas. A goal that turned it back to 5-3 for the Golden Knights, trailing by 2, and then Jeff Skinner put it away with his biggest goal as an Oiler. Cleared successfully by Edmonton, back through the neutral zone. Shoveled in by Evan Rodriguez, who scored a couple of timely goals for the Florida Panthers in the Stanley Cup Final. A move made by Janmark to the net. He's drawn a penalty. Towed aside by Bobrovsky. And Janmark, who was the only man to score in Game 7 for the Edmonton Oilers, has drawn the first penalty of the hockey game. That'll be a hook. Our referees, Kelly Sutherland and Francis Sharon, linesman Brad Kovacek and Devin Berg. And the Oilers go to the power play, where, Bob, they're starting to heat up 42% over their last 8 games.
And as a result, they're up to 22.4%, 14th in the league. Florida's penalty killing, it's their 5-on-5 goals against has been the issue. Their penalty killing 10th in the league at 81.3. Craig McTavish saying today he was in St. Louis when they traded Mikla, and he was surprised they didn't like him more. And Florida ended up signing him, and Florida's found some pretty good players at bargain basement prices.
Well, and when they haven't been able to capitalize on their own picks, Bouchard fell down off the draw, and here's a shorthanded breakaway. Bookfist shoots and scores, and Florida strikes first. 1-0, a shorthanded goal for the Panthers, and the Oilers, who did not give up a shorthanded goal in their first 29 games, have now given them up back-to-back, and that started because Bouchard fell down off the draw.
Yeah, well, 2 straight games now, pretty egregious mistakes. That happens once in a while. We'll see how Bouchard responds to that. Bouchard, as we know, took a bit of a shot against the Minnesota Wild. Last game it was Stuart Skinner.
Jesper Boqvist able to knock it down against Bouchard, who then fell down out of the play, and Boqvist able to beat Skinner blocker side. That's his 5th of the year, unassisted, shorthanded at 242. Oilers still on the Atco power play, but now they are called. Bouchard, compounding his mistake that leads to the shorthanded goal, now takes a penalty, and now will be skating 4-on-4 right off the draw, a trip against Bouchard. So he turns it over. It leads to the shorthanded goal by Boqvist, and then he negates the power play subsequently with a tripping call, and Florida will get an ozone draw here.
It's an all-day penalty. I mean, I don't there was no need for him to even be involved in the pick on that play. Be really intrigued to see how Evan Bouchard responds from that.
Yeah, he just hauled him down, and McDavid had the zone entry already taken care of. So now Draisaitl against Sam Bennett. Face off to Stuart Skinner's right-hand side. Skinner 11-7-2 on the year, coming off a 38-save performance and a 6-3 win over Vegas on Saturday afternoon. Edmonton has won 5 in a row and 8 of 9 with the goal differential 39-17 over that stretch. McDavid and Draisaitl 4-on-4. Swoop into the offensive zone. It's Draisaitl behind the net. McDavid will toss it out to Brett Kulak. The other skater out there is Darnell Nurse. It's McDavid. Right point for Draisaitl. 5th in the league in points, number 1 with 22 goals on the season. Here's Nurse. Little pivot fake, tried to go short side, and that was forced out wide by Aaron Ekblad. Nurse across to Brett Kulak. Down low to Draisaitl, out to Nurse between circles. His shot deflected away and grabbed by Sam Bennett. Edmonton won games 4 and 6 in this building in the Stanley Cup Final by a combined 13-2. But it was Florida hanging on to win Game 3, 4-3, that made a big difference. Verhaeghe's shot stopped by Skinner. He was the other man to score in Game 7. Reinhart had the game winner, and we told you Janmark, the only Oiler to score in that 2-1 loss for Edmonton on June the 24th. Hyman centers. That was tipped away from Bobrovsky as Nugent Hopkins could not power his way through Dmitry Kulikov, who years ago briefly played for the Oilers. Got 13 games in.
It's a healthy scratch.
Yes. Here's Ekholm able to knock it down. Healthy scratch in the 21 playoffs. Grabbed by Verhaeghe and dropped off and settled by Balinskis. Uvis Balinskis, a Latvian who spent 3 years in the Czech League and 4 years in the KHL. Second year in Florida, Sam Reinhart gains the line. Dropped it off to Lundell. Reinhart chipped it over Ekblad. Now Florida, an abbreviated power play, about 15 seconds worth. Ekblad to Lundell. Steers it out. Ekblad, a shot redirected up and out of play with nearly 5 minutes gone by in this first period. So the Atco power play not only fails to convert, but gives up the shorthanded goal to Jesper Boqvist. And then the Oilers, obviously, a Napa Auto Parts penalty kill. Technically, that will be the 30th kill they've managed over their last 33. Early on, Bob, as Florida surged to 11-3-1, Edmonton special teams and goaltending struggled. Now it has come on. And in the meantime, Florida's under 500 since that 15-game start.
Yeah, but they're playing with purpose tonight. You can see it. They boxed out the front of the net already on the Oilers a couple times.
Off the draw, Forsling takes a shot that was blocked. How about the fine for Gustav Forsling? You talk about bargain basement. How about plus 148 as a Panther?
It's crazy.
That's Bobby Orr numbers. Icing call whistled against the Edmonton Oilers. Of course, he did it in about a season and a quarter, but Forsling, nevertheless, an impressive pairing with Ekblad. 5 minutes gone by, first period. And I think you'd agree with me. By the time the Stanley Cup Final arrived, Forsling was kind of carrying Ekblad a bit. Ekblad was struggling.
Well, and Ekblad's a pending UFA, so too is Sam Bennett.
Yeah.
And there's some, Bill Zito is a top-flight general manager. It'll be really intriguing to see. I'm assuming they get those guys done. But
well, Bennett's on his way to a career year. Scored 20 goals for the second time as a Panther last season. Nico Mikkola, a shot deflected away. Emberson up the left-hand side. Mikkola, another guy you and I have always kind of liked. I know you were talking with Mac T about it, but that's a guy we felt was certainly an underrated player for this Florida club. Boqvist will give it up. A shot from the point, save made by Skinner, and then he stopped the rebound from Mikkola and freezes it with 5.5 gone by in the first period. And Mikkola had a 2-goal game in the Stanley Cup Final.
Well, they're playing like it, frankly, a more desperate team. And the Oilers, Evan Bouchard had a case of the yips on the power play there. He turns the puck over, and then right after tries to run a little bit of interference. We'll see how Evan can bounce back from that.
Well, that was Florida's second goal in 214 minutes, Bob. They needed.
And not the easiest shot for Stuart Skinner to face early in the game.
No, Lundell, not the way you draw it up. Nate Schmidt, well-traveled veteran on the back end. Usually you can rely upon him for 30 points from the back end. Now you've got Lundell back on the puck, tracked by Ekholm. Off the board, Schmidt unable to hold the zone. Balinskis races over and grabs that puck for Utah, sends it up to Luostarinen, and he'll shoot it in. And it's guys like Luostarinen and Lundell, Bob, that add to Florida's guts when it comes to their lineup.
Yep.
Reinhart, of course, the big year last year, 57 goals, and he's got 19 this year, top 5 in the league. Draisaitl, of course, the league leader with 22. Oilers chip it in, hacked back the other way by Schmidt. Bouchard up the left-hand side for Podkolzin. He'll bang it in deep. Bobrovsky directs traffic as both teams once again shuffle the deck personnel-wise. We played 6.5 minutes. The shots are 4-2 Florida, and the Panthers lead it 1-0 on a shorthanded goal by Boqvist. Here's Janmark. Over to Adam Henrique, left to right. The Oilers in the blue and orange, outlined in white. Florida in the white jerseys, blue pants, and red trim. And now it's the visiting Florida Panthers under the direction of head coach Paul Maurice, whistled for an icing. Paul Maurice, as you know, Bob, the second most games coached in the history of the league. The only man with more, well, the father of the Oilers general manager, Scotty Bowman.
He was a pretty good coach, Scotty Bowman.
He won a few cups, as I recall. Running out of hands for all those rings. Mikkola up the left-hand side. You've got Carter Verhaeghe. Back to Sam Bennett. He'll gain the line. A wrist shot blocked. Bennett already 13 goals, 26 points on the year. His career high is 28 goals, 49 points. So we're at the third way point of the season, and Bennett tracking for a fabulous year. Florida checks in a late 18-11-2. In the top 3 in the Atlantic, the Oilers third place in the Pacific at 18-10-2. Trailing LA and Vegas, who won yesterday, beating Minnesota. Shot by Ekholm and a blocker save made by Bobrovsky. Rebound, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. Back-to-back games, he's got power play goals for Edmonton. Swept around the boards. Bouchard kept it in around Evan Rodriguez, but that was flipped off the glass and out by Forsling. Ekholm scrambles back. Bouchard whiffed on a puck in the neutral zone. McDavid picked it up, found Zach Hyman. 5 goals in his last 5 games, but forced back to center by Ekblad, and that pressure eventually sent Hyman tumbling. And now it's Forsling who will shoot it in from center ice for the Florida Panthers. Emberson will give it up. Kulak dancing behind the net, shoveling up to center. That's handled by Balinskis. He'll carry back in for Florida from the left-hand side. 12 minutes to play, first period. Florida 1, Edmonton no score. Up the left wing. Maybe a 2-on-1 here. Jeff Skinner couldn't get around Balinskis as Janmark had a notion for a rush, but Skinner was off balance. And Jonah Gadjevich will bring it the other way for Florida. He'll wrist it down deep. Second year with the Panthers after 2 in San Jose. Originally second-round pick of the Vancouver Canucks. On the puck is Luostarinen. They'll send it around the boards. Reaching for it is Nate Schmidt. Eventually grabbed by Emberson, who took a hard hit in clearing it back inside the Florida blue line. Nico Mikkola back on the puck for the Panthers.
Oilers have forgotten this is a physical team, and they're desperate. They've come out here banging.
Mikkola, though, released that puck before he hit center, Bob. A bit of an unforced error there, and it's another icing call against the Panthers. 11:15 to go in the first. What do you make of what we've seen?
I think Florida's come to play, and I think Edmonton's not playing on the same pace and tempo that the Panthers are. Panthers are finishing their checks. They're playing a north-south game. Edmonton's got to get more physically engaged.
I would imagine if you're saying that, you're also thinking they're not yet at the pace they were Saturday afternoon against Vegas.
Yep.
Off the draw, the puck loose, top of the left circle. Kulak unable to hang on to it. And here come the Panthers. Sam Reinhart through one man. Forced out wide by Darnell Nurse. And eventually grabbed by Draisaitl, not out. Forsling takes a shot that's spun back behind the net by Skinner, who takes a look. Grabbing the puck, Luostarinen, and a shot from distance is squeezed by Skinner. And that was from just inside the blue line, a long drive taken by Kulikov. We've hit our first time out. We've played a little more than 9 minutes, and the Panthers have taken a 1-0 lead on a shorthanded goal by Jesper Boqvist. This is Four Dealers NHL Hockey live from Rogers Place, a Stanley Cup Final rematch. The Oilers Radio Network.
Be a savvy Edmonton hotel shopper. Book through Edmonton'sBestHotels.com and receive up to $225 in cash rewards. There are over 55 member hotels to choose from, offering their best value rates. Edmonton'sBestHotels.com. Rewards with every booking.
Hockey is back, and so is Play Alberta, Alberta's #1 sports book and the official partner of the Edmonton Oilers. Cheer for the Oilers while scoring bigger offers, boosted odds, live betting, player props, and more. New to Alberta? New players now receive $200 in free bets just for signing up. Already a player? Get a $10 free bet for every $100 you bet. Download the new Sportsbook app and make your picks today. Bonus terms and conditions apply.
When the Oilers are on the ice, the big hits are a part of the game. But they shouldn't be a part of your drive. If you've been injured in a car collision, let James H. Brown & Associates and their over 200 years of combined injury law experience help you. Locally owned and proud Edmonton Oiler fans, James H. Brown & Associates is ready to support you with their unrivaled experience, unrivaled results, and unrivaled commitment. When accidents happen, head to jameshbrown.com.
Be a savvy Edmonton hotel shopper. Book through Edmonton'sBestHotels.com and receive up to $225 in cash rewards. There are over 55 member hotels to choose from, offering their best value rates. Edmonton'sBestHotels.com. Rewards with every booking.
Listen on air, online, and on the Radio Player Canada app. This is the Oilers Radio Network.
10:52 remaining first period. Edmonton and Florida played one of the most memorable Stanley Cup final in the history of the league. Last June, Panthers prevailed in 7. 11 Panthers, 13 Oilers from Game 7 in the lineup tonight, and that's not including the goaltenders. Carried back in by Bennett, where once again it's Bobrovsky and Skinner. And in the final, actually, Skinner had a slightly better save percentage than Bobrovsky, but as Chris Knobloch told us this morning, Bob, Bobrovsky was terrific in the games he won.
Yep.
Here's Draisaitl plowing his way into the offensive zone for Edmonton. Kulak to Darnell Nurse, a shot, double deflection in front, but Colson nudged it on net and a save made by Sergei Bobrovsky, who came in to this game 13-6-1, but only a save percentage of .892 as to go along with that goals against, where they're 24th, Bob. The Panthers are 26th in save percentage. Neither Bobrovsky nor his backup, Spencer Knight, anywhere near as good as they'd like to be. And certainly, I think back to last year, Anthony Stolarz was a nice insurance policy in the Florida cage.
Well, no question about it. Got himself paid as a result with a contract. And they've been waiting on Spencer Knight. He's had some challenges along the way, but still think he's a really good goaltender, Jack. I really like this 1-2 punch for the Panthers. They just haven't started out great.
It's in the player assistance program a year ago. McDavid getting worked over in the corner by Reinhart. Ekholm across to Bouchard. Redirected just wide. What a tip by Nugent Hopkins, and that missed by an eyelash of banking off that left goal post and in. That was a good tip. Bouchard up the right-hand side and shoveled in by Zach Hyman. Took a hard hit to make the play. McDavid will feed it right back to Hyman. Now it's McDavid, who's had terrific numbers against Florida historically, but did not come up with a point in either Game 6 or 7 of last year's final. Oilers were offside as Bouchard failed to hold the zone, and Kulikov a reset for Florida behind the Panthers' net. Florida attacking right to left in this opening period, and a shorthanded goal by Boqvist has them on top 1-0. Rodriguez, a dart to the middle. Samoskevich unable to come up with it, and here comes Troy Stetcher for the Oilers. Samoskevich, one of the new Florida players in the lineup, a rookie out of the University of Michigan, and they love him. Late first-round pick in 2021. Stetcher backing off. Emberson, the two righties playing together. Adam Henrique, right side for Matthias Janmark. Pestered for a moment by Balinskis. Clears that pressure. And then when he tried to drop it into the offensive zone, had it deflected to about the fifth row, near side here at Rogers Place. Packed to capacity, 18,347 as Edmonton tries to shake the Monday Blues. 3 games on Monday this year, 3 losses by a combined 12-1. And early on, it's Florida 1, Edmonton no score. Mid first, this is Ford Dealers NHL Hockey, the Oilers Radio Network.
Today you can score at A&W. Enjoy a juicy grass-fed beef mama burger and fries for only $5. Available in-store or on the A&W mobile app at participating locations in OilCountry. This fantastic deal is available all day today at A&W.
For years now, we've been warning Edmontonians on the hazards of our stormwater facilities. While they may appear to look like still ponds, there is moving water beneath the surface, which makes the ice dangerously... The unpredictability of stormwater facilities makes them treacherously unsafe for all winter activities, even walking. So think twice. Don't go on the ice. A safety message from EPCOR.
Tired of skyrocketing energy bills? Switch to clean, affordable power with Horizon Solar. Whether you want to cut costs, go green, or increase your home's value, Horizon Solar has you covered with tailored solar energy solutions. With current government incentives, there's never been a better time to make the switch. Own your power, control your bills, live sustainably. For your free assessment, call Horizon Solar today or visit horizonsolar.com to get started. Horizon Solar, where going green makes sense.
Today, you can score at A&W. Enjoy a juicy grass-fed beef mama burger and fries for only $5. Available in-store or on the A&W mobile app at participating locations in OilCountry. This fantastic deal is available all day today at A&W.
All games, all season. You're listening to the Oilers Radio Network.
The Edmonton Oilers trailing the Florida Panthers 1-0 as we hit the 9-minute mark of the first period. Draisaitl between Podkolzin and Kapanen for a neutral zone face-off. He pulls it back to Kulak. The two lefties playing together for much of this first period, Kulak and Nurse. Then you'll see Kulak with Emberson occasionally and Nurse with Stetcher. But they're trying to get Kulak as many minutes as possible. Bob, you were talking about the fact Kulak has played 20 minutes north of the last, 4 games?
Yep.
Up the left-hand side. So they know he's not a third-pairing defenseman at this stage of his career. So they're trying to find him extra time.
Does that change the complexion of what Stan Bowman looks for via trade at some point?
Sam Bennett pressed, heading for the net, poked around, and finally fluttered towards Skinner. Makes the save. Matthew Tkachuk controls for Florida. Out to Kulikov, right point. Sent it over to Gustav Forsling. And that was deflected. Shoveled by Kapanen up the left-hand side. And the Panthers once again in full retreat as Ekblad sticks back on with his customary partner. Gustav Forsling up the right-hand side. Bennett. Florida, so many first-round picks, top 6 picks, not necessarily their own. Reinhart, Tkachuk, and Bennett all in that category. Powering through. Of course, Ekblad was their pick, first overall, 2014, 2 ahead of Draisaitl, selected third that year by Edmonton. Of course, Sam Reinhart went second that year to Calgary. And Bennett Reinhart went to Buffalo. Bennett went to Calgary. My apologies.
You remember how happy I was when Reinhart went second to Buffalo and Draisaitl was still there at 3? We were working that draft together.
I'll tell you what, Sam Reinhart has no career to be ashamed
but not
of.
for Buffalo.
Ekholm out to Bouchard. And I thought, the only thing I'd tell you about that is the Oilers continue to work the cycle. Perry, I thought Reinhart continued to play hard for some bad Buffalo teams, and not everyone did in a Buffalo uniform, including a former Oiler. Here's Hyman, a shot that was blocked and cleared. Bobrovsky back through center. Lead pass. Here's a drive and a save made by goaltender Sergei Bobrovsky up the left-hand side and jousted free. I always thought Reinhart worked hard for those Buffalo
Clubs.
He was good.
But you look at it, they had Eichel. They had Reinhart.
Eichel at times
was indifferent.
And they brought in some other guys there that...
You're obviously talking about Taylor Hall.
Well, I didn't think he showed his best in Buffalo at all. Bouchard, and some of that you have to look at what the top looks like as well as just the hockey club. It's not always the players. Kulikov up through center, but ultimately they have the final say. And I always thought Sam Reinhart was a gamer. Here's Nugent Hopkins in from the right-hand side. McDavid heading for the net. Deflected away, and with 6:01 to play in the first period, it remains 1-0 Florida. Do you disagree?
Well, Ralph Kruger coached that team, and I know at the start of Miles Fee, who's on the staff for Florida, was working with Buffalo at that time. Ralph had brought him in, and I know that the line combinations right from day one of training camp, it irked some of the players there. And sometimes guys read. Ralph had a different way of doing things. I thought Ralph, frankly, surprised me with some of his offensive ingenuity, given that he coached in Switzerland, and the joke was nobody could coach, nobody could protect a 2-0 deficit like Switzerland. But the fact is that something didn't work there, and I got news for you. All these years later, something's still not working there in Buffalo. Maybe it reinforces how lucky Edmonton was to get McDavid and Draisaitl.
Nosek wins the face-off. Balinskis clears up the right-hand side. Gadjevich punches ahead. Nurse deflected it away. Lead pass up the left-hand side. A.J. Greer couldn't knock it down, and it will be an icing call. I had just always felt out of that whole Buffalo contingent.
Reinhart was the one guy that stepped up.
I always thought he, generally speaking, I mean, if you look at his numbers, he did not tail off, and obviously we didn't know that he'd be what he's become in Florida with back-to-back 30-goal seasons, followed up the 57-goal explosion last year, and of course the most important goal he scored was the last one.
Yep.
Game 7. Late in the second period, beating Stuart Skinner off the rush. Off the draw, Samoskevich ahead to Gadjevich, and that's covered by Skinner on a backhander. And Edmonton did not like the ice shower that Skinner got. Henrique is in the mix there. Stetcher and Skinner as well. The Oilers took exception to that, and there was no doubt a bit of a snow shower laid on Stuart Skinner, who makes the save, his 5th of the evening, with 5.5 to go in the first period. And Florida leading Edmonton by a score of 1-0. Jesper Boqvist has the game's only goal. It came shorthanded, unassisted, less than 3 minutes in. Bob and I return with more live first period play-by-play in just a moment. This is Ford Dealers NHL Hockey, the Oilers Radio Network.
Hey folks, Paul Brandt here. I love being an Albertan, and I love Ford trucks. And I know that like hard-working Albertans across this great province, there's a Ford truck for everyone. Like Super Duty. It's what I like to call a workhorse. A truck built for heavy-duty performance and getting the job done. Now that's a truck to live and work by. So whatever you're working on, you'll know that the 2024 Ford Super Duty's got the goods. Get yours today at your Alberta Ford dealer. Just tell them PB sent you.
Do you have tickets to an upcoming event at Rogers Place that you can't attend? Donate your tickets to the Edmonton Oilers Community Foundation Seats for Kids program, presented by Eagle Builders. Seats for Kids provides unused game tickets for charities, allowing children and families to enjoy hockey at Rogers Place. And for many, a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. To be a part of the Seats for Kids program presented by Eagle Builders, please email edmonton@kidsupfront.com. That's edmonton@kidsupfront.com.
From the biggest stadiums to the coziest holes in the wall. From house parties to porch hangs to pride celebrations. From your favorite fuzz shop to your local Indian spot. From noodle bars to sports bars to salsa bars. There's a Molson with your name on it. Canadian Ultra XL. Molson. Everyone in. Must be legal drinking age.
Oilers Holiday Homestand 50-50 presented by Rogers, up to $712,000. And right now, tonight's early bird prizing, a $2,000 gas and grocery package and 2 Loge tickets for the PWHL Takeover Tour at Rogers Place. That's your Oilers 50-50 first period plug. 1-0 Florida. Shorthanded goal by Boqvist as Edmonton wins a faceoff in its own zone. It's McDavid and Draisaitl getting a 5-on-5 shift here with Zach Hyman. Puck's in deep. Bobrovsky tosses it back to center. Smart play by the 36-year-old goaltender to get McDavid and Draisaitl back in the neutral zone instead of staring at him squarely. Now McDavid takes it in from the left-hand side. Draisaitl across, wide open. Bouchard shoots, and that was fought off by Bobrovsky, who came out to challenge and got a piece of it with his glove. Now 2-on-1 the other way. Kachuk and Carter Verhaeghe. But when Kachuk tried to center, Draisaitl by that time had gotten back, broke up the pass, takes a feed from McDavid, in across the line. Bouchard to McDavid, wide open. Hyman shoots and scores. This game is tied.
What a goal.
Zach Hyman, his 6th goal in 6 games, 9th of the year.
Well,
and it's 1-1.
And after the loss in Calgary, veteran coach, God, it's been at this a long time. Paul Maurice talked about the fact that they got to limit the chances of giving up off the rush. And the Oilers had all 5 players involved in that one, and Hyman finishes off late. We're tied 1-1.
He won't like that. Edmonton actually got 2 chances in a row. One by Bouchard, the second by Hyman, who this time went blocker side of Bobrovsky and put it top left corner. So Zach Hyman starting to come alive. He scored twice in last year's Stanley Cup final, and he's set up by McDavid and Draisaitl off the rush. And that started with Draisaitl getting back defensively to deflect the pass from Tkachuk intended for Verhaeghe and create the rush going the other way. Draisaitl doing it at both ends. Bob, I mean, he was the best. He's been the best player by far on the Oilers the last week.
No question.
He has been tremendous. Sent in deep. Nico Mikkola nudging back to the point. Nurse unable to hold the zone. And as a result, this game is tied. But Colson will shovel it in deep, and that's grabbed by Balinskis and cleared up the right-hand side. Chipped in. Reinhart was tripped. That's an obvious penalty. And the Panthers are not too happy with it either. Reinhart charging down the right-hand side. And a penalty called on Darnell Nurse. He'll go to the box. Nurse has been on a tear, 12 points plus 16 in his last 17, and I think he just picked up an unsportsmanlike conduct.
2 minutes for tripping, 2 front sportsmanlike.
There it is. That becomes a 4-minute power play for Florida. Little lack of discipline.
Little bit of a hothead call there from the officials too. You saw him be all demonstrative on it. We don't know what Darnell said to him, but he was pretty. You don't see an official get that.
Well, he was demonstrative about it.
There's no question. You don't have to.
That was like a Dutch Rennert third strike call.
Yep.
Sam Bennett digs in for the draw to the right side of Stuart Skinner. Emotions are going to be high, remember. It's a Stanley Cup final rematch. So,
and there weren't a lot of penalties called in Game 7, as we recall.
All 3 teams have to be mindful of that. Well, that was a trip on Darnell. I mean, that
was a penalty.
Yeah. Here's Emerson clearing up the right-hand side.
A minor in that situation is what I guess I asked.
Here's Tkachuk. And obviously, we don't know what was said. Maybe a magic phrase or word. Here's Bennett to Carter Verhaeghe, circling the net. Florida on the power play for 4 minutes here. Looking to regain the lead. Verhaeghe off to a quiet start offensively. Just 8 goals for a guy who scored 42 a couple of seasons ago. Verhaeghe fired across. Now played to Ekblad. Remember, no Sasha Barkov in this game. Long shot tip for Hagee. Looked to keep it alive and did for Ekblad. Nap Auto Parts penalty killing unit. Ekholm and Emberson first over the boards along with Henrique and Nugent-Hopkins. Emberson able to break up the cycle. Tkachuk ushers on to Sam Reinhart. Down low for Tkachuk. Reinhart. Tkachuk coming out of the right-hand corner. Tried to flip it high slot for Ekblad. It was deflected away by Nugent-Hopkins a second time. And this time, another deflection went right to Ekholm, and he's able to drill it up the right-hand side. Down to 2:45 in the power play. 3 minutes to go in the period. About a 15-second differential here as the Panthers start up ice. Anton Lundell poked off his stick, and that threw off the timing of the play, and Florida's offside coming over the line right to left. 1-1 hockey game. Boqvist 2:42 shorthanded. Hyman at even strength at 15-13 from McDavid and Bouchard on a play that really was set up by Leon Draisaitl's defensive work. And I agree with you, Bob. That's what I was saying. In a game with this kind of emotion to it, a Stanley Cup final rematch, all three teams have to be mindful of that.
Yes.
I'm not saying that it was an unjustifiable unsportsmanlike conduct. I'm just saying, as you said, you can't be a hothead. Having said that, we all know what words are automatic in terms of the unsportsmanlike conduct. Here's Troy Stetcher, and he'll shovel it through the neutral zone. And if you really want me to break it down for you, well, you're going to have to catch Bob and I off the air one of these days. Here's Nate Schmidt.
Is that with or without Colin Campbell over our shoulder?
Here's Tkachuk. Well defended at the blue line and cleared by Kasperi Kapanen, who's been playing on the PK with Podkolzin. It's a penalty-killing system he was familiar with in Toronto the last time he really killed penalties on a regular basis. Shot in by Reinhart. Verhaeghe will try to chase that puck down, which got caught up behind the net. Ekholm took advantage of that friendly bounce for Edmonton and lines it down the left-hand side. And now we're down to 90 seconds on this Nap Auto Parts penalty kill. Minute 40 to go in the period. And Florida hasn't done much with it. Sam Bennett will hit the line for the Panthers. Tipped away. Nugent Hopkins turns and clears. Oilers 31 for their last 34 on the PK, and really frustrating Florida right now. Draisaitl defending as Verhaeghe walks in. Florida power play 26% coming in. So the Panthers have had it going on the power play all year long, but do not look sharp here. Reinhart, miscommunication with Ekblad, and that chases him back to center. Long toss for Verhaeghe, in over the line. Centering pass, not much on it, and an easy save for Skinner as Sam Bennett mostly fanned on that one. 1:05 to play in the period, 49 seconds left in the Nurse penalty. And I got to tell you, Bob, I mean, it's not like Florida had momentum going into this power play, but they're certainly not building any. And the Oiler penalty kill, I mean, the Panthers really haven't had a chance to get set up.
Henrique at 53.5% to take a draw here, Jack.
Edmonton, a top 5 face-off team all year long. That certainly helped them in their resurgence on the penalty kill. Henrique ties them up, and Ekholm wins a battle and fires it down the ice. Bobrovsky will leave it for Ekblad, and Florida's down to 35 seconds on the man advantage. And again, they have not been sharp. Just one shot on this power play, and it was basically a flubbed wrist shot. Here's Tkachuk with a sharp wrist shot that's stopped by goaltender Stuart Skinner. Now Reinhart to Bennett. Ekblad up top. Verhaeghe left circle. Shoots, and that missed high blocker. Rebound. Ekholm unable to get it out. Reinhart with 15 seconds on the power play. Deflected home by Matthew Tkachuk, set up by Verhaeghe, and it squeezed through Skinner's legs with just 11 seconds left in the man advantage. Tkachuk, the deflection point blank, and Florida regains lead at 2-1. That's Matthew Tkachuk's 11th of the year.
Well, that unsportsmanlike comes back to haunt the Edmonton Oilers. And again, we don't know what got said, but Florida got a lucky bounce on that goal. As Verhaeghe, who's minus 17 this season, deflected off of the skate of Matthew Tkachuk.
Yeah, did it get any part of his stick? And if it didn't, did he kick that in with his right skate? Did he kick it in? Tkachuk has a little bit of a cat who swallowed the canary look on his face.
But he always has a little bit of the cat who swallowed the canary look on his face.
That's fair. I can't argue with you. Very tough to tell.
Yeah, we're going to need a clean look at this. It's close.
Verhaeghe, Tkachuk's trying to get his stick in there. Oh, and he does kind of joust that right foot forward. I think this one's coming back. I don't think this one is going to count.
It's got a little bit of Rick Booten-Tooten in there, Jack.
He lifts the right foot and then jabs it forward at the end. I think this is going to be a kick, and this goal will come off the board. That's my prediction as it goes 5-hole on Stuart Skinner. And I know you're loath to make those kind of comments because you feel there's a jinx, but this one's going to come back. I don't think it should take that long.
Here's
here.
the call.
Kelly Sutherland.
The video reviews determined the puck was deflected off the foot. Therefore, we have a good goal.
As usual, I'm wrong. I mean, I'm sorry. He jabs the right skate forward, in my opinion. You're allowed to angle your foot. But I'm sorry, I don't know how that one counts and Blake Coleman's doesn't in the 2022 playoffs.
We're still trying to figure that one out.
Now that it's over and been decided, and you can rightfully accuse me for jinxing that, how do you feel about that call?
Like I feel like many of them. Just looking for consistency.
I thought he jabbed the right foot out. I felt pretty confident about that one, and I was wrong. Lundell wins the faceoff, wristed down deep by Gustav Forsling. And the Panthers in on the forecheck. So it is 2-1. Verhaeghe and Reinhart with the assists. Matthew Tkachuk deflects one in. Hyman walks in right-hand side with Draisaitl and McDavid for the balance of this first period. Bouchard with 3 seconds. Draisaitl's got to let it fly. Drops it off. McDavid at the horn has it blocked. And that's all for the first period. Florida will regain the lead at 2-1. Matthew Tkachuk on the power play, and it's the Panthers who've taken advantage of the special teams. This has been Edmonton's domain the last couple of weeks, but Florida with a shorthanded and a power play goal, and Edmonton, despite scoring the only 5-on-5 goal of the period, finds itself trailing 2-1 against a club that when they score first is 12-3, and when they lead after one is 12-1. It's a tough team to come back against, as we found out last year in Game 7. Having said all that, what did you make of the opening 20?
Strange period. I mean, Bouchard fights the puck, blows a wheel on the play. Boquist goes in, rips one past Stu Skinner. Then Edmonton scores a tremendous goal off the rush, off doing something that Florida totally wanted to shut down and not give up. I got to find out why there was an extra minor called there. That to me is in this day and age, you don't often see a guy that's been in the league for the last 11 years getting a penalty like that. So, and then
I just don't think he simply angles his foot. You're allowed to turn your skate in a position where it deflects the puck in. But I think he turned his skate and then jabbed it forward, which in my mind, then it becomes the kicking motion.
What do they call
usual,
it?
I was wrong.
Yeah, what do they call it on the ice, Jack?
Well, they called it a goal. No, I know. I'm just kind of explaining my point of view.
And my point of view is, you know what they think in Boston when it comes to playing in Florida. You know what I'm saying? Because it is much more. Hey, I'm going to tell you this right now. I thought the Panthers were the more assertive, more physical team in the first period. I think the Oilers have got to dig in a bit and start matching some of that physical intensity. Don't like the sequence involving Nurse. Would like to know. It was a penalty. The one call was a penalty. Very surprised to see a veteran like that not get a veteran call in that situation.
You mean a veteran non-call?
Yeah, a veteran non-call. I was stunned that they called an unsportsmanlike there.
Well, again, as you know,
we don't know what.
In every sport, there's a few automatics. And, that gets you ejected in baseball, that gets you a 2-minute unsportsmanlike conduct in hockey.
We'll see, because the officials have now made themselves part of this game tonight, Jack.
2-1 our score. Florida on top. Boquist shorthanded. Tkachuk on the power play. Hyman at even strength for Edmonton. And it's the defending Stanley Cup champion Florida Panthers who've taken a 2-1 lead over the Edmonton Oilers as they look to bounce back after back-to-back shutout losses in Calgary and Vancouver. Interestingly enough, they were shut out on the exact same dates last year, Seattle and Vancouver. They ended up beating Edmonton on that trip. In fact, they've gotten at least a point in each of their last 9 trips to Edmonton, Alberta. 6-0-3 in the last 9 regular season. Not all in this building. Some of those carry over to the old Rexall place. But it's Florida 2. It's Edmonton 1. When we come back, we'll hear from Bryn and Rob. We're live at sold-out Rogers Place. 20 minutes complete. And it's the Champions 2. The Oilers 1. This is Ford Dealers NHL Hockey. The Oilers Radio Network.
Did you know that there are 9 Napa Auto Parts stores serving the greater Edmonton area and have been doing so for more than 50 years? Since Napa first opened in Edmonton, the community has grown and vehicles have changed, but you can always trust Napa Auto Parts to provide you with the expert know-how and the best vehicle parts. And if that isn't enough, every time you visit a Napa Auto Parts store when you present your AMA card, you receive an additional 10% discount on all retail parts and accessories. Visit your local Napa Auto Parts store for more offers and expert know-how. Napa Auto Parts is a proud fan of the Edmonton Oilers.
Stay connected with your community and enjoy the latest updates and exclusive access to concerts and events by becoming an 880 Ched Insider. Don't miss out on a single moment. Sign up now at 880ched.com and click on Ched Insider Newsletter to become a vital part of Edmonton's premier news and talk community. 880 Ched, Edmonton's news, today's talk, where Edmonton stays informed and entertained today and every day. At The Intermission, brought to you by End of the Roll Flooring Centers. Let's get flooring.
Draisaitl by that time had gotten back, broke up the pass, takes a feed from McDavid, in across the line. Bouchard to McDavid, wide open. Hyman shoots and scores. This game is tied.
What a goal.
And that's our Highlight Zone, brought to you by Century Casinos. All in, all games, all season. Century Casinos with 3 great locations, Edmonton, St. Albert, and right next door to the Edmonton International Airport. Welcome to the Winter Zone. Welcome to the first intermission, and after 20 minutes of play, the Florida Panthers leading the Edmonton Oilers 2-1. However, the Oilers did outshoot Florida in that period 10-9. Rob Brown joining me here in the press box at Rogers Place. Your thoughts on the first period?
I thought it was a entertaining period. I thought there were 3 big mistakes made in that period. The first one, Bouchard falls on the power play, gives up a breakaway, goal scored. Nurse takes an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. On that penalty, the Florida Panthers score. And the Florida Panthers get crisscrossed in their own zone and lose Zach Hyman, who walks in all by himself, and Zach Hyman scores. So 3 big mistakes in the period. 3 goals were scored in the period. Good teams take advantages of the opposition's miscues, and I think we saw in that period both teams took full advantage of mistakes made by the opposition.
Be kind of curious to know. Well, I guess I'd be curious to know what was said.
Well,
to
it's
the referee, but the penalty was a penalty to me.
The penalty was an easy penalty to call.
I don't know what the complaint was.
But to me, I don't understand, and I know Bob is saying, it shouldn't be called, but we have no idea what was said.
Right.
And referees don't like making that call. You rarely see an unsportsmanlike, so I don't think we can sit up here and say that can't be called, or we can question the referee for calling that.
Yeah.
We're not down there. He obviously said something, and there was no reason, as you just said, to say anything.
Yeah.
That was as obvious a penalty as you're going to get. That's
what I thought.
So that was it was a mistake by Darnell Nurse. Darnell Nurse has been incredible for the last 7 weeks, best defenseman for the Oilers, but he made a mistake, and I'm not going to even think about questioning the ref making the call. I mean, obviously something was said.
Been around for a long time, and I thought he was quite.
He was mad.
Yeah, he was unhappy about what was said. That's for sure.
Well, I know that Nurse went up and they talked at the end of the period, and they were still quite upset with each other at the end of the period. So, it was a mistake made by Nurse. And the earlier mistake by Bouchard, here's, as a younger defenseman still trying to find his way, as Evan Bouchard is, he trips on the blue line, gives up a breakaway. That happens. It happens more than you think. Players will, you get crisscrossed, you fall down, you toe pick, whatever it is, it happens. The bigger mistake for Evan Bouchard was the penalty he took afterwards. So the Oilers still have a power play for about 1:45, I'm not even sure what it was, but they have a long power play. They have control of the puck.
Yeah.
Bouchard is frustrated because I've been in that position. The entire stadium saw the mistake you made that created a goal. So so he gets frustrated, and he goes and picks a player and gets a trip, and it wasn't huge, but it was obvious. And there's no you got Connor McDavid coming up with full speed. He doesn't need you to pick anyone. He doesn't. He's going to get the blue line. He's going to get it easy. Yeah. Evan Bouchard's frustration takes a penalty. So not only the penalty they don't get scored on the penalty, but you just took away 1:45 of power play time on a power play that's been playing very well together. That was the bigger mistake. The falling down at the blue line, that created the goal against. That's just, it happens. But you can't compound that by going out and take a frustration penalty.
Yeah, just continually made it worse. And then Matthew Tkachuk tips home his 11th of the season, and that made it 2-1 for Florida. But obviously they reviewed it. I don't know. Your thoughts on that? I've seen it called both ways.
Yeah.
So, it is what it is.
I thought it was going to be a goal. I know that Jack talked about a little bit of a jab.
Kind of jab that's.
But was the jab because it hit him in the foot? Or because I don't think he one-timed it, because that shot was coming pretty good at him. So I don't think he one-timed it with his foot. I can understand what Jack was saying.
Yeah.
That was one, and I agree. That was one that either way they called it, I would have said, yeah, okay, I understand that. But again, that was on the tail end of the 4-minute penalty to Nurse. That was the unsportsmanlike part of the penalty. 11 seconds left. The Oilers up to that point had done a fantastic job killing. But I don't know if you noticed on that one, they had a 4-minute power play, and They had switched. The first unit was on. They did nothing. The second unit came on. They did nothing. The first unit came on again, did nothing. And there's a whistle. Paul Maurice didn't change. He didn't pull his first unit off. He says, you know what? You've done nothing for the first minute 30 of this power play. Do something now. And they do. So they rewarded their coach by keeping them out for the last 30 seconds.
Rob, we got about a minute left here. Oilers, I thought were a little behind the play in the first half, but I thought they started to pick it up a little bit by the midpoint.
I agree. I thought that the Florida Panthers came out. They were physical early in that period and really had the best of the chances. I think the Oilers got better as the period came on.
Yeah.
They're just replaying the goal by Hyman.
That's beautiful.
It was a great play by, it started with Leon Draisaitl losing control of the puck in the offensive zone. Oilers had numbers. Bouchard is there to pick it up. But Sam Bennett, this is where the big mistake was made by the Florida Panthers. He leaves his area to go throw a hit. When he leaves his area to go throw a hit, that leaves Zach Hyman wide open. And a guy that scored 54 last year and has got 5 and 5 coming into tonight's game, scores his 6 in 6 games. He made absolutely no mistake on that one. So big mistake by the Panthers created Zach Hyman's goal.
Okay, Rob, thanks. We'll talk to you in intermission number 2. We'll take a timeout and we'll come back and we'll take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard. At the intermission is brought to you by End of the Roll Flooring Centers. Let's get flooring. This is your Ford Dealers NHL Hockey on the Oilers Radio Network.
Rogers is Canada's fastest and most reliable internet. We're made for Oilers fans. You can stream Brown's scoring down in the basement. There it is! Watch Leon light the lamp in the living room. Spectacular! Connor scoring in all corners of the house. And Nurse notching a game winner in the nursery. Very quietly, of course. Rogers, proud partner and fan of your Edmonton Oilers. The tip comes all the way back!
Did you know the RCMP polices over 99% of Alberta's landscape? From the oil sands to the Rockies to the prairies, the RCMP has a province covered. Providing policing services to more than 1,700 communities and with over 150 career specializations, the Alberta RCMP has something to fit everyone's goals and lifestyles. Visit rcmpcareers.ca and take the next step towards your career with the Alberta RCMP. A message from the Government of Canada.
Benefits offers amazing coverage that even the toughest hockey players can get behind. With excellent coverage, they offer things like massage. You want to go? Counseling services. Let's go! Dental coverage. That was not offside. And eye exams. With custom health coverage for any group of any size, Bloom Benefits make every team better, stronger, and healthier. Plans start from just $54 a month. Rethink your benefits today at bloombenefits.ca.
This is Global News at the first intermission. I'm Zach Ferguson. Liberal Prime Minister Justin Trudeau did not speak to reporters as he left an evening Liberal caucus meeting tonight in Ottawa. It's still unclear whether Trudeau will stay on as Prime Minister, with few MPs speaking to reporters as they left the meeting. It came after Krista Freeland's shocking resignation from Cabinet this morning and an open letter posted to social media in which she acknowledges she's been at odds with Trudeau over the past few weeks. And with that going on, the fall economic statement document was tabled, showcasing a deficit for 2023-24 as $61.9 billion. That's almost $22 billion more than forecasted last spring. The deficit is projected to fall to $48.3 billion for the current fiscal year. A suspicious house fire over the weekend in Wetaskiwin has turned into a fatality. After putting out a house fire in Wetaskiwin early yesterday morning, first responders found a body of a man inside. Witnesses saw a possible suspect running from the home with parts of his or her clothing on fire. I'm Zach Ferguson. Your next scheduled newscast will be at the second intermission on 880 CHED.
The Edmonton Oilers Community Foundation 50-50, presented by Rogers, is back and bigger than ever. The largest 50-50 in sports offers early bird draws, bonus raffles, and a main jackpot, which is growing by the second. With over $100 million invested across OilCountry, your support directly helps kids, families, and communities in need. Maybe you'll be our next winner. Get your tickets right now at EdmontonOilers.com and help make OilCountry a better place.
AGLC license number 696879.
Heard of Uline? You know, the have-it-all in-stock, ready-to-deliver shipping and industrial supply specialists. The company that does things for you that are unheard of, like keeping 41,000 items in stock in our own warehouses. With customer service reps on the line to get you what you need, when you need it, 24/7, 365, every time. Maybe you heard it here first. Want to hear more? Visit uline.ca. ULINE, your shipping and industrial supply specialists.
Legacy Heating and Cooling jingle auditions take one for Gene Principe. Are you ready, Gene?
Ready? I'm not just here to make a thermo a couple of bucks. I'd never just microphone it in.
Take one.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
Nice.
Boom! I'm a musical genius.
Legacy's gonna love this for furnace season.
What's not to love with no interest and no Principe payments for 1 year?
Are you always like this?
Yep, unlike a furnace, I have no filter.
Legacy Heating and Cooling.
At the intermission, brought to you by End of the Roll Flooring Centers. Let's get flooring.
Bryn Griffiths back at Rogers Place after 20 minutes of play. The Edmonton Oilers trailing the Florida Panthers 2-1. Let's take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard brought to you by Pizza 73, the official pizza of the Edmonton Oilers. Just two other games in the NHL. One is currently being played, and it's Washington on the road in Dallas to take on the Stars. That one is late in the second period. It's 1-1 between the Caps and the Stars. Dylan Strome for Washington and Rupe Hintz for the Stars. The other one's an 8:30 start, so it'll get rolling here in just a little under 2 hours, or an hour rather. It's Vancouver at home tonight to take on the Colorado Avalanche. And two Monday night football games in the NFL. The Bears at the Vikings. Minnesota early in the third quarter with a 13-0 lead there over Chicago. And the Falcons at the Raiders. Atlanta with a 9-3 lead in Vegas. That one is late in the second quarter. And that's your out-of-town scoreboard brought to you by Pizza 73, the official pizza of the Edmonton Oilers. So, as I mentioned, it's 2-1, Florida leading the Oilers after one period of play. Players are getting ready to come back onto the ice, so the second period is not far off. At the intermission, brought to you by End of the Roll Flooring Centers. Let's get flooring. This is your Ford Dealers NHL Hockey on the Oilers Radio Network.
At the intermission has been brought to you by End of the Roll Flooring Centers. Let's get flooring.
Real Canadian Superstore has more ways to save than any other major grocer. Check out their weekly flyer for BC Optimum offers, deals on club size, no name, and always low-priced everyday items. Visit in-store to find everything from fashion and home decor to toys and electronics. And don't forget their new Fresh Promise on produce. If your produce isn't fresh, they'll replace it and refund it. There are so many ways to save at Real Canadian Superstore. See their flyer for details.
No mortgage payments for a whole year? It could happen. With End of the Roll Flooring Center's Win Your Mortgage Payments contest. What would you do if you were mortgage-free for a whole year?
I'd probably go on vacation.
Probably take a trip and then do some renos.
Then I'd be able to definitely afford more hockey camps for my kid.
If you want to win your mortgage payments for a whole year, just drop into any End of the Roll Flooring Center to enter today. Visit endoftheroll.com for all the details.
12870 St. Albert Trail and now open at 580 Parsons Road Southwest. Experience the exciting casino action at 3 Century Casino locations, Edmonton, St. Albert, and Century Mile. Dine at one of their amazing restaurants featuring daily specials. Take in the ultimate game day experience at the Century Sports Bar and Lounge. Check out the best in live entertainment at any amazing location. Plus, enjoy a great selection of casino gaming options and off-track betting. Feel the thrill of live horse racing at Century Mile Racetrack. Don't miss a second of the action at Century Casino. Come for the action. Stay for the fun.
Listen on air, online, and on the Radio Player Canada app. This is the Oilers Radio Network.
We're live in our Legacy Heating and Cooling broadcast booth. Legacy Heating and Cooling, home of no interest, no payments for 1 year. Jack Michaels, Bob Stauffer with you. 2-1 Florida, 5-on-5 hockey. And Bob, you were eager to get at it, so go ahead, have your say. It looks like we're going to have McDavid, Draisaitl, and Hyman to start the second period as Chris Knobloch wasting no time. Nugent Hopkins moving to center, and he's going to play between Podkolzin and Kapanen.
Two dominant 5v5 shifts for McDavid, Draisaitl, and Hyman in this game.
One of which, of course, leading to the Oilers' only goal. And off the draw, the Florida Panthers send it in deep. So Chris Knobloch shuffling the deck personnel-wise. Here's Bobrovsky off an Oiler dump in and played ahead for Gustav Forsling left to right. In this second period, Florida in the white, Edmonton in the home blues. The Oilers have won 5 in a row overall, 5 in a row on home ice after really struggling here at Rogers Place to begin the year. Nugent-Hopkins will send it in deep. Kapanen peels off on a change as Kulikov plays it up the right-hand side for Florida. Aaron Ekblad to center ice. Wristed toward the net, and Skinner inadvertently blockered that one out of play against Anton Lundell. 45 seconds into this second period. Boqvist opened the scoring shorthanded for Florida. His fifth unassisted. That was answered, as Bob alluded to, by the Hyman goal off the rush from McDavid and Bouchard with 5 minutes to go in the first period. The Nurse took a 2-minute trip, followed it up with an unsportsmanlike conduct call, and Tkachuk got credit for banking it in with his skate. A power play goal from Verhaeghe and Reinhart, and it's 2-1 Florida as we begin this second period. And McDavid now out there with Draisaitl and Hyman for a defensive zone draw. Sam Bennett off that face-off. Hyman had it, lost it, regained the puck, and now will skate away from traffic. Bouchard too far for McDavid, and that'll be an icing call whistled against Edmonton. The Oilers come in looking to track down L.A. and Vegas in the Pacific Division. Vegas on Edmonton's off day yesterday got the win in Minnesota by a score of 3-2. They lead the Pacific by 4 over L.A., by 5 over Edmonton. Meanwhile, in the Atlantic Division, Florida holds down second place, 2 points behind first place Toronto. Face-off, right side of Skinner.
Toronto's terrific at home. They're not that good on the road.
Panthers come in 9-6-1 away from home. Of course, back-to-back shutout losses haven't helped that record out. Kulikov will spin it down low. Good reverse hit by Tkachuk to maintain possession. Verhaeghe swing and a miss deep in the right circle. Kulikov gives it back to him. Verhaeghe shoots, and that was blocked. Ekholm never left the lane. Looked to clear, but it was held in by Kulikov. Thus far, though, Florida bottling up Edmonton's top line. Samoskevich out to Kulikov, and he was dropped in his tracks. A wrist shot fired wide. McDavid flattened Samoskevich. Bennett came up with a rebound, ducked inside, headed for the net, only to have it pried off his stick by Draisaitl, who now comes up ice with Hyman. McDavid peels off on a change as Hyman taken against the boards by Forsling. Now it's Ekblad ushering one up the right-hand side for Rodriguez, and now a burst of speed. Boqvist against Nurse, driving to the net. Nurse does well to force him out wide and prevent a shot on net. Boqvist was...
He's fast.
Yeah, the proverbial shot out of a cannon, but Nurse was able to reel him in. He's rangy. 6'5", in my opinion. Nurse always says 6'4", Jack. I swear to you. I believe he's 6'5". Those wide shoulders. Eats up a lot of ground. Samoskevich will send it in deep. Rodriguez in the corner. Of course, it would figure, Bob, that I'd try to win an argument about a player's height. Here's a shot by Nurse. Nate Schmidt, and that's sent wide. Back behind the net, Jonah Gadjevich, tracked by Nurse. Nurse and Stetcher working against A.J. Greer and Gadjevich down low. Greer now disrupted by Henrique. Winning a battle, Gadjevich against Nurse, but Nate Schmidt flubbed it at the blue line, and Jeff Skinner was able to power it through the neutral zone. Nosek will gain possession for Florida.
Good first 3 minutes here for Florida.
Gadjevich in on the forecheck against Nurse. Skinner went down. I think there was traffic, and Skinner got popped by his own man. I think Nurse got steamrolled into Skinner, and Skinner is pointing toward his collarbone as they check on him. Nurse gets crowded, and then the stick of Gadjevich actually came up. They missed it. Gadjevich's stick came up and caught Skinner up near the clavicle and actually on the right side of his head. And Stuart Skinner has gotten one penalty, but he's drawn probably 3 or 4 others that were not called, and that was one.
Well, these guys haven't been sharp tonight. Official crew giving Nurse what's right now been the deciding call in this game. But unsportsmanlike, and again, we don't know what he said. Sometimes you can say more to some officials than others. It kind of looked like right there they missed a high stick on Gadjevich, a fourth-line player that certainly is tough.
3 years in the American League before cracking through to the NHL. Off the face-offs to Skinner's right. Brett Kulak able to come up with it, and here's Connor Brown. He's already surpassed his goal total from a year ago. He scored his 5th on Saturday afternoon. It was a shorthanded goal. Derek Ryan, and now a penalty will be called. Corey Perry drew one. He was tripped up in the corner, and the Oilers will go to the power play looking to tie this game 3.5 minutes in to the second period. So the fourth line draws a power play for Edmonton. It's Kulikov to the box for a trip. Francis Chiron with the call, and Edmonton 8 for its last 20 on the power play. 6 goals in its last 5 games with a man advantage. We'll get an opportunity to tie it up against Sergei Bobrovsky in the Florida penalty kill. Now, we told you Boqvist scored the shorthanded goal. Reinhart leads the league with 4 shorties among his 19. So Florida's not only got a good penalty killing unit, ranked 10th in the league, but they can hurt you the other way.
Counter-strike.
Draisaitl chased out of the circle. Big surprise. McDavid lines up against Carter Verhaeghe. And off that faceoff, excuse me, that was Reinhart, not Verhaeghe. Bouchard, a shot that was tipped wide. McDavid on the puck, gives it up for Leon Draisaitl on the right half boards. McDavid coming out of the right corner. Bouchard, a one-timer and a save. Bobrovsky had a clean look, and the only problem with that, of course, is you don't get a screen in front of Sergei Bobrovsky. He's going to handle even Evan Bouchard's slapper.
Well, the first one had a better chance as Hyman was the net front, but he had moved himself in a position on the McDavid setup.
So now Draisaitl bearing down for another ozone draw against Anton Lundell, who won it cleanly for Florida. Forsling will spin it off the glass and off the glove of McDavid back to center. Evan Bouchard quarterbacking for now. McDavid building speed. Draisaitl at center ice will drop it for his captain. McDavid cuts left, forced to retreat. McDavid now with 24 points in 14 regular season games against the Panthers. Ekblad with a sharp clear up the right-hand side off a Edmonton dump-in, and Hyman has to return it to Evan Bouchard. Edmonton Atco power play at 1:15. Atco Energy, your trusted Alberta retailer. Here's Bouchard down low for McDavid, crowded in the left-hand corner. Ekblad had a chance to clear, but Nugent Hopkins prevented that. Draisaitl to Bouchard, top of the right circle, fed along to McDavid, return to Bouchard. Up top, Draisaitl took his eye off it momentarily, regains against Luostarinen, cuts to the net, hard charging, backhander, and that deflected off the side of the net. McDavid gives it to Bouchard, no shot yet, and finally let a wrist shot go that was blocked by Luostarinen. I think Bouchard was surprised McDavid gave the puck right back to him.
You got to shoot it the first chance you get.
Nugent Hopkins had it and lost it, and here comes Florida the other way, and Luostarinen will dump it in, and Edmonton's top unit will change with 20 seconds left in the man advantage. McDavid and Bouchard for now remain on the ice. Bouchard misses McDavid and Corey Perry, and that's an icing call.
Evan Bouchard's having one of his toughest games, and he made a really good play on the goal, but he is fighting the puck out there in the decision making. And that's me saying that. You know how much of a supporter I've been of Bouch's over the years. I think the Oilers should have accelerated his process more during the 2021 season.
Gutted it out, played 23 minutes while a little banged up on Saturday afternoon, and back in there tonight. Face-off win for Reinhart, but played back to Nurse by Corey Perry, and the Oilers will have a chance for one last rush on this Atco power play. A little more than 5 minutes gone by in this second period, and Florida still leading 2-1. Rematch of the Stanley Cup Final, the Panthers winning in Game 7 on home ice 2-1. Led 3-0 in the series. The Oilers got the next 3. Only to fall 2-1 in Sunrise. Here's Nurse as the power play comes to an end. Rocketed up ice by Nate Schmidt. This will be icing against Florida. And Edmonton will get an attack zone draw with 14:16 to play in the second period. And the Panthers leading by that same score, 2-1.
$545,000 basically in cap space for Florida. You got to figure they're going to add another defenseman. We all know we expect Edmonton at some point to add a D.
Now, Now, you said something along the lines of with Nurse playing a lot with Kulak, that might change the kind of D they get. Here's a drive by Ekholm, and right off the face-off, Bobrovsky makes a save from 45 feet. That's his 11th stop of the night. What do you mean by that? Explain what you're alluding to.
I mean, the general perception was Edmonton needed a shutdown right shot defenseman. Given how Kulak has performed, given the game's changed a bit, can it be a left shot guy that could possibly play a bit on the right side? And you need a guy that can maybe transition and skate more than you need a guy that's just a straight cycle stopper.
Off the draw, Ekholm to Bouchard. Back behind, Hyman, McDavid. Sent off his stick. Verhaeghe up to Matthew Tkachuk, and from the red line, he loads up and eventually shoots it in. Panthers, though, were a little bit disrupted, and the timing of the play allows Edmonton to exit with no pressure, but another poor pass and another icing call whistled against Edmonton, and the Oilers at times tonight have looked disjointed.
Yeah, well, part of what's made Edmonton good here over the last couple of weeks is their ability to transition the puck from the back end, and they got a couple guys fighting the puck right now. That's not helping.
Well, and it disrupts your rhythm and flow in terms of just the cycle game and rolling over the four lines. A lot of rhythm to Edmonton's game, and I know Chris Knobloch wasn't elated with the 41 shots against on Saturday afternoon against Vegas, but the Golden Knights are a good hockey club. That game had a lot of offensive flow to it. This one, not so much. Here comes a beautiful touch pass by McDavid ahead for Hyman. Backhander score, and this game is tied. A bit of a broken play, and McDavid created something out of nothing by lunging and shuffleboarding it ahead for Zach Hyman, and we are tied at 2.
Jack, that's the exact same move that he beat Bobrovsky on in Game 6 here, the 3-0 goal, after the puck ricocheted off Nugent Hopkins' skate, and Hyman ended up getting a breakaway. He's a right-handed shot. He goes in, he sells a big shot, goes to the backhand, and elevates the puck up and over Bobrovsky.
But that play created by McDavid, because there wasn't much to it. It was a little loose puck in the neutral zone, and McDavid went belly down to jab that ahead for Zach Hyman. A tremendous play. His second assist, Hyman's second goal tonight, and 7th in 6 games, and we are tied at 2. Twice Florida has taken the lead, and twice Edmonton has tied it up. Nurse under pressure. Coughs it up. The Panthers on the puck. Samoskevich misses. Crashing hard is Nico Mikkola, but he could not come up with a puck, and Stetcher rolls it back through center. Derek Ryan will twist it in for Edmonton, coming right to left. Kulikov scoops it back through center, and that's going to be settled on 2 bounces by Kulak. Draisaitl will get the second assist on the scoring play as Corey Perry rolls into the offensive zone. One-timer score! Connor Brown from a sharp angle. Bobrovsky should have had that one, but it slips through him. And Brown's 6th of the year gives Edmonton its first lead at 3-2.
Remember the 1 year Connor Brown was on pace to lead the Ottawa Senators in scoring, goal scoring. Torn ACL 4 last year. You already mentioned he's passed his high this year. And the Oilers did a great job. And it was Corey Perry keeping the puck in. And then Connor Brown. And that one crunch slipstreamed its way past the net there, Bobrovsky.
He won't be happy with that one.
That is a weak goal against. And the Oilers have got 2 quick ones here, Jack.
2 goals in a span of 43 seconds have turned a 2-1 deficit into a 3-2 Edmonton lead as the Oilers look for their 6th consecutive victory and their 9th win in 10 games. Off the draw. Shot taken by Thomas Nosek, who a few years ago, a vital cog in Vegas's 4th line on a team that went to the Stanley Cup Final in 2018. Stepping up, Balinskis. And he'll sift one down low. But no question, Bobrovsky needed to have that one if you're a Florida Panther partisan. Jonah Gadjevich off to Nosek. To the point, Balinskis. Down low for A.J. Greer, out of his reach, turned and cleared a big hit. That's going to be a penalty on Greer. And now we're going to have a fight, and Greer throws a right hand. And a second right hand. Couple of big shots. as Podkolzin took exception to that hit from A.J. Greer.
That's a straight-out hit from behind. That's as bad a hit.
Well, he got penalized for it.
Yep.
Podkolzin came up and was ready to stick up for himself, and Greer started firing shots of his own. So we'll have coincidental 5-minute fighting majors at 7:43 and a hit from behind, a boarding call likely coming against A.J. Greer, a big hit, and that was classic boarding. And when Podkolzin came up and looked for a little extra, Greer was more than happy to start unloading.
Could have stayed on the ice.
Is that the second time they fought? Greer and Podkolzin?
Is that who he fought when he got cut open? I'll look it up for you
I believe
during the break.
He fought for a second time. Edmonton 3, Florida 2. Connor Brown, the go-ahead goal. Zach Hyman, a pair. And we're live at Rogers Place with Ford Dealers NHL Hockey, the Oilers Radio Network.
Score big with the unmatched purity of Clearwater Vodka, the perfect companion for Oilers fans. Crafted with the pristine waters of Alberta, it's a sip of local excellence. Clearwater Vodka, where the spirit of the game meets true Alberta quality. Must be 18 plus. Please drink responsibly.
Pizza 73, the official pizza of your Edmonton Oilers. Loyal to the oil, in Edmonton we trust. Rising to the top like a pizza crust. Got the flavors to play, cooking on ice. Hunger happens, gotta score a slice. Let's go Oilers, E-Town unite. Ice District to Jasper, downtown to White. Wearing orange and blue, game on the street. Make the right call, Pizza 73. Let's go Oilers. 737373, Pizza 73.
Proudly headquartered in OilCountry, Capital Power is delivering reliable and affordable power today while building clean power systems for tomorrow, creating the balanced energy solutions communities across Alberta and North America can depend on. Visit capitalpower.com to learn how they are powering change by changing power. Be part of their energy and join Capital Power as we all cheer on our Edmonton Oilers on their quest to win it all.
Score big with the unmatched purity of Clearwater Vodka, the perfect companion for Oilers fans. Crafted with the pristine waters of Alberta, it's a sip of local excellence. Clearwater Vodka, where the spirit of the game meets true Alberta quality. Must be 18 plus. Please drink responsibly.
So the extra two indeed do A.J. Greer for the board on Vasily Podkolzin. They had fought when Podkolzin was a member of the Vancouver Canucks, and they fought again. So they're both in the box. A face-off to the right side of Bobrovsky, and Edmonton on the power play for a third time tonight. Bouchard a blast, and that caught a healthy piece of Gustav Forsling and then was cleared by Reinhart back through the neutral zone. Bouchard, Draisaitl, McDavid, Nugent-Hopkins, and Hyman out on the Atco power play unit. A steal, and Reinhart heading for the net and stripped at the last moment, cleared back the other way. Oilers regain. Remember, Reinhart with those 4 shorthanded goals. Hyman nudges ahead for McDavid into the zone. Soft chip back to Bouchard in the high slot. 11:45 to go, second period. The Oilers 2 goals in 43 seconds to turn a 1-goal deficit into their current 3-2 lead. Nugent-Hopkins left circle to the net with a centering pass brushed aside, and you almost wonder whether Nugent-Hopkins would be better off shooting low and using the pads as a rebound.
They're taking the flank away from the Oilers on the power play.
McDavid, dish to Nugent-Hopkins. Off to Bouchard, but you create one with a sharp angle shot there, and maybe a rebound. Here's Draisaitl to McDavid. One-timer Bouchard, and that was deflected right into Bobrovsky, and it went off Hyman's face.
Oh, that's not good.
Went right off Zach Hyman's face, and he skates straight off and underneath. I think it caught him in the mouth. He's got the visor on. His eyes were open as he came racing off the ice, but that puck might have struck him right in the mouth. And we only hope Zach Hyman, who already has 2 goals tonight, is okay. As Hyman, the shot deflected off a Panther and then off Hyman's face and into Bobrovsky.
Oh, I think it got part of the visor.
I hope so. He's leaking as he comes off.
That's a given.
But I just hope, for Hyman's sake, the damage is minimal. And a face-off to Bobrovsky's left-hand side. So here, halfway through this power play, the Oilers are going to utilize a mishmash of the first and second units. They're going to keep McDavid, Draisaitl, and Nugent-Hopkins out there. They're going to bring Bouchard and obviously Hyman now unavailable, so Corey Perry becomes the net front presence, and Ekholm moves up here. So this is interesting with 51 seconds still left in the Atco power play.
Bouchard's, he's having a tough night, Jack.
Well, that one went off a Panther. I mean, he didn't shoot it right into his face. Here's Hyman watching as McDavid wins the faceoff back to Draisaitl. A shot by Ekholm and a save made by Bobrovsky. And Reinhart able to come up with a rebound, and Boqvist with a clear to center, but that's all. Draisaitl back to McDavid. Defending that side is Nico Mikkola. McDavid gets it back from Ekholm in the high slot. A shot ricochets to Nugent-Hopkins. Back to Ekholm just inside the blue line. Now McDavid. Here's Draisaitl, right circle. Defended by Kulikov down to one knee. Here's a drive and a one-timer score. Leon Draisaitl, an absolute rocket from inside the right face-off dot, set up by Ekholm, 4-2 Edmonton, and that is now 3 goals in a span of 3 minutes and 4 seconds.
Well, you got to make them count when a guy sits there and drills one of your guys from behind into the boards, and the Oilers do. And again, I got to tell you, I'm a little surprised at Bobrovsky. I don't think that Perry got all the way across on the...
Draisaitl now 23, one ahead of Kaprizov, set up by McDavid.
I thought that was a pretty clean look for Bobrovsky.
Yeah, and it went straight into the net. Yeah. From a tough angle, but that's Draisaitl's office, deep in the right circle. Power play goal at 9:24. And the Oilers, in the span of 3 minutes, have turned a 2-1 deficit into a 4-2 lead on home ice against the defending champions.
Some other guys got to step up here. But Colson's in the box. He's in your top 6, and so is Hyman. So guys like Skinner, Jeff Skinner's going to get some ice time here. He's got an opportunity to make the most of it.
Pitchforked out by Adam Henrique, and a maybe 2-on-2 for Janmark into the offensive zone. The chance of Sergei reverberating throughout Rogers Place as Carter Verhaeghe clears back to center, and Nurse fires it in. Bobrovsky will knock it down and leave it for Balinskis. Kachuk to Sam Bennett left to right into the offensive zone, button hooking and waiting. Saucered across, one-timer Forsling denied by goaltender Stuart Skinner. McDavid and Ekholm with the assists. As I mentioned earlier, on Draisaitl's league-leading 23rd goal of the season, Draisaitl now up to 47 points. McDavid has factored in 3 of Edmonton's 4 goals. He's got a playmaker and is up to 44 points. Both players firmly entrenched inside the top 10, but more importantly, from an Edmonton perspective, on the scoreboard, with Skinner just having made his 8th save of the evening. It's Edmonton 4, Florida 2, 9:42 to play in the middle frame. We'll be right back with more live play-by-play from sold-out Rogers Place, the Oilers Radio Network.
Hey, Edmonton. Big moves need big talent, and AMJ is your go-to partner. For all local residential and commercial relocations, AMJ delivers a smooth, stress-free experience. AMJ, your team for every move. Contact your local branch today.
Our people, our team. It's what business owners almost always say is their most important resource. But strong businesses don't just find great people. They make sure their teams stay healthy, engaged, and performing at their best. A benefits plan from Alberta Blue Cross is more than just drug and dental. They support the whole person with flexible coverage levels that fit the size and circumstance of your business. Find a plan that gets results at ab.bluecross.ca.
Heard of Uline? You know, the have-it-all in-stock, ready-to-deliver shipping and industrial supply specialists. The company that does things for you that are unheard of, like keeping 41,000 items in stock in our own warehouses. With customer service reps on the line to get you what you need, when you need it, 24/7, 365, every time. Maybe you heard it here first. Want to hear more? Visit uline.ca. ULINE, your shipping and industrial supply specialists.
Hey, Edmonton. Big moves need big talent, and AMJ is your go-to partner. For all local residential and commercial relocations, AMJ delivers a smooth, stress-free experience. AMJ, your team for every move. Contact your local branch today.
All games, all seasons. You're listening to the Oilers Radio Network.
Face off to Skinner's right after he handled that drive from the point from Forsling. And off the draw, digging after it, Nugent Hopkins and Connor Brown, who scored the go-ahead goal. Draisaitl has supplemented that goal with a power play tally. And it all adds up to 3 goals in a span of 3:04 for Edmonton. And a 2-1 Florida lead has given way to 4-2 Edmonton as Derek Ryan with a puck in his own end. Didn't get it out. A centering pass goes awry from Forsling to Verhaeghe. Nearly turned over by Brown, but retrieved by Nugent Hopkins. In across the line with Derek Ryan. Tried to slide it cross ice, deflected out to Ty Emberson. We'll try to get you updated on Zach Hyman as quickly as we can as he took a puck off the face and appeared to be leaking on his way underneath. Hammered in by Brett Kulak, and on the puck is Sam Bennett. He'll lob it back through center. Grabbed at the red line and flung in by Aaron Ekblad as a wave has gone up here at Edmonton's Rogers Place. Monday night has not been kind to the Oilers, but thus far, this one going their way as the Oilers watch an unforced icing call that will become against Nico Mikkola. 3 losses to Columbus, Montreal, and New Jersey by a combined 12-1. Entering tonight, that's been Edmonton's Monday night record, and the Oilers were down 2-1 in this one. But now up 4-2, and without Zach Hyman, Kasperi Kapanen, what an opportunity for him playing with Draisaitl and McDavid. Draisaitl won the faceoff. Ekholm across to Bouchard, and here's Draisaitl. Bouchard, a one-timer and a save made. Bobrovsky, who struggled to hold that one up near his right clavicle, makes the save. And Bob, you said it. I mean, he has not been sharp tonight.
No.
Give the Oilers credit for testing him, but a couple of goals from sharp angles. I mean, it's one thing for Draisaitl to set up at his office, but the Connor Brown was just a clean whiff. Draisaitl set up by McDavid. By the way, that's going to be the 200th goal that Leon Draisaitl has scored off an assist from Connor McDavid.
There you go. Nice work.
Off the faceoff. So 200 times it's been McDavid to Draisaitl. Here's McDavid. Actually seems closer to 400, but it's 200. Ekholm will shoot it in. 2 tremendous players. First time it happened was at Rexall Place in the spring of 2016. Here's McDavid wandering in, swatted off his stick, and the other way by Mikkola. 7:45 to go in the second period. Florida trying to avoid a 3rd straight loss. Edmonton looking for its 6th consecutive victory. The Oilers on their best heater of the year. Reinhart trapped in the corner against Connor McDavid. Up to Boqvist, poked away by Draisaitl. Edmonton continues to buzz, but Kulikov up to Rodriguez, heading for the net. Wrist shot fought off by Skinner. That climbed up on the plexi and was ruled out of play with 7:23 remaining in the second period. The Oilers having outshot the Florida Panthers in this second period by a count of 8-3, and more importantly, scoring the only 3 goals that have gone in as they look to defeat Florida on home ice for the 3rd consecutive time, if you include games 4 and 6 of the Stanley Cup Final last spring. Adam Henrique digging in for the face-off against Sam Bennett. Actually, Game 6 was the first day of summer.
Yes.
Remember, Bob, even Bob was wearing light-colored clothing.
No.
No, that was me? That was just me?
All right. You're knocked us over with your omnipresence.
Sam Bennett won the face-off. Balinskis down low. Centering pass for Higgy just out of the reach of Bennett, who was camped out in the slot. Panthers trying to make a push here late in the second period, trailing 4-2. Nate Schmidt against Jeff Skinner. Jousting with him on the right half boards. Kachuk, sharp angle, trying to bank it off Skinner, who made the save, and Troy Stetcher will be guilty of an icing call here as Balinskis gets back to draw the whistle with 6:56 remaining in period 2. We are live from our Legacy Heating and Cooling broadcast booth, 8th floor, Rogers Place.
I just want to circle back to Colson taking the fight with Greer.
And he's getting a big hand from his teammates. But Colson has done nothing but earn respect from his teammates and the coaching staff from the moment he arrived.
And, you know, a lot of other players would have stayed on the ice after being hit like that from behind and sold it, Jack.
He was walloped. He didn't have to sell it.
Right.
He was absolutely tattooed in the corner.
He got up and he fought a guy who's known for primarily one thing, fighting.
Here's Darnell Nurse across. Stetcher, a shot off the pads of Bobrovsky, picked up by Samoskevich. He'll start down the right wing, float one to the middle, bumped off the stick of Boquist. Samoskevich put it down, looking for Rodriguez, and that was swept around by Connor Brown. Nurse hustles over. Samoskevich back on the puck for Florida. He was pinned there. Corey Perry toe pick down, and Connor Brown will lift it behind the Florida defense. Nate Schmidt up the left-hand side. You were saying, partner, I'm sorry.
This game's got a little grease to it. It's a little dirty out there, Jack.
Kulak a drive from beyond the blue line, and Bobrovsky able to lay the leather to that one, but he has not been sharp tonight. And riddled for 4 goals on 20 shots. We told you his save percentage south of 900 despite the record of 13-6-1. And Florida, as a team, 26th in the league in save percentage. Now, Edmonton not much better at 22nd, but lately, thanks to Stuart Skinner's resurgence, that number has been climbing. Skinner comes in at 8.97 for the season. Bobrovsky at 8.92. Just 12 shots for Florida in the first 34 minutes. Not what Paul Maurice was looking for. Off the draw, Mikkola, a failed clearing attempt, and another goal against off the rush tonight, 5-on-5 for Florida. But Golson trying to carve that out of the corner. Emberson laid a hit on Luostarinen, chipped it ahead for Reinhart, powers his way toward the net, and then behind, tracked by Kulak. Staying with it on his backhand, up to Kulikov, and finally chipped out by Kasperi Kapanen. Launched by Nugent Hopkins, who thought he was held. Kulikov run off the puck by Podkolzin, none the worse for wear after that hit and subsequent bout with A.J. Greer. Laid ahead to Lundell by Sam Reinhart. Banged in deep. Stetcher will reverse off to Nurse, and it's ushered up to Corey Perry. He looks for a long toss. Instead, conservatively back to Nurse. Chipped in off the backhand side behind Nate Schmidt. No icing. Schmidt reverses, and Luostarinen watches as Verhaeghe took a pop to clear the puck back to center. Shot back in by Adam Henrique with less than 5 minutes to go in the second period. And the Oilers holding a 4-2 lead thanks to a 3-goal outburst in a span of 3 minutes and 4 seconds. Nate Schmidt. The outlet, Belinskas up to Sam Bennett. Verhaeghe tried to hit Kachuk. He's got one of the 2 Florida goals tonight. Perry knocked it down. The Oilers come up ice, but Derek Ryan won't get there as Nate Schmidt takes over at his own blue line. Hit his own man, Verhaeghe, who then recovered the puck and swept it ahead for Matthew Kachuk. Curled it behind Darnell Nurse, but Florida needs a change. Stetcher off the boards to Nurse. 4 minutes to play, period 2. Edmonton up 4-2. Stetcher shoots it in from the red line. Taken along the boards by Aaron Ekblad of Florida. Played ahead, and on the move is Boquist to open the scoring shorthanded for the Panthers less than 3 minutes in. Samoskevich with a shot to clip the side of the net. Evan Rodriguez on the rebound, pursued by Draisaitl. Forsling looking for a lane, takes a shot, save made by Skinner. Rebound in the slot for a moment, and Bouchard up to Draisaitl. Looking ahead, right-hand side, and that was broken up. And eventually funneled back in. Connor Brown was the intended target of the Draisaitl pass, and now Brown is on the puck, and he'll shovel it around to Connor McDavid. Bouchard shot tipped by Lundell. Still no sign of Zach Hyman underneath for repairs after taking a shot in the face earlier in this period. Sam Miskevich inadvertently put it into the Florida bench with 3:19 to go in the second period. And the Edmonton Oilers having gained control of this hockey game at Rogers Place. It's a Stanley Cup final rematch, and it's Edmonton 4, Florida 2, late in period 2. This is Ford Dealers NHL Hockey, the Oilers Radio Network.
Hey, Paul Brandt here. You know what I'm a fan of? Alberta. The wide open spaces, the highways and byways, and a rugged, beautiful terrain that I'm proud to call home. Maybe that's why I'm also a fan of my Ford F-150. It's tough, capable, and smart, which makes it a natural fit for roads like these. So if it's a new truck you're looking for, look no further than the truck Albertans love to drive, F-150. Head into your Alberta Ford dealer and tell them PV sent you.
For years now, we've been warning Edmontonians on the hazards of our stormwater facilities. While they may appear to look like still ponds, there is moving water beneath the surface, which makes the ice dangerously... The unpredictability of stormwater facilities makes them treacherously unsafe for all winter activities, even walking. So think twice. Don't go on the ice. A safety message from EPCOR.
Celebrating 70 years in the signage industry, William Huff Advertising is the most recognized name in the game. An in-house, one-stop shop for all of your design, print, and installation needs. William Huff provides quality graphic solutions for everyone. Here in our City of Champions and throughout the nation, they are the preferred signage partner entrusted by many of the biggest corporations, pro sports teams, and organizations to bring their identity to life. Recognize the name, get in the game. WilliamHuff.com.
Listen on air, online, and on the Radio Player Canada app.
This is the Oilers Radio Network.
4-2 hockey game in favor of Edmonton. A face-off coming at center ice. Jack Michaels, Bob Stauffer with you on our Legacy Heating and Cooling broadcast booth. Our 50-50 jackpot at $815,000. And that, of course, benefits the Christmas Bureau of Edmonton, Make-A-Wish Canada, and Casa Mental Health. Early bird prizes include a $2,000 gas and grocery package tonight, as well as 2 Loge tickets for the upcoming PWHL Rogers Place takeover. Here's Dmitry Kulikov off the draw, sending it up right-hand side. Chipping and charging is Gadjevich. Taken off the puck, fouled up. Nosek short side with a wrister denied by Stuart Skinner in tight. Jeff Skinner on the rebound. Will get it back from Matthias Janmark and look for an outlet. His man is Kulak. Up through center looking for Adam Henrique, and that was bumped back the other way. Panthers come over the line. A shot smothered by Emberson against Gadjevich. Oilers off of impressive victories over the Western Conference's 2 division leaders, Minnesota and Vegas, getting 7 different goal scorers against the Wild and 6 different against the Golden Knights. 16 of 18 skaters getting on the score sheet. Ekblad, right point, tried a one-timer. It was blocked, got it back, tried a wrist shot, and a save made by Skinner, his 13th of the night. Oilers can't get it out. Little push from Florida here. Shot by Forsling. Another save, Skinner, and then it trickles through. There may have been a tip in front. Reinhart was setting a screen, but I don't believe he made contact with the puck. This is Forsling's goal, and Florida's back in it. And just a brief lull by Edmonton cost the Oilers dearly. It's 4-3. Forsling, that'll be credited as his 5th goal of the year.
Oh, it's going to be a good goal. There's no question for me. It's a good goal. But if you're Edmonton, you had 2 chances to make plays and get pucks out, and they didn't. These guys are going to, much like Vegas, look, this is a really good team. They got a good program going there.
And they're not going to go away.
And they play hard, firm, competitive. You need to know that's coming.
You wonder whether that rode up into Emberson's gear and then dropped behind him and Skinner as he came together with Reinhart, because, of course, Emberson is preoccupied with clearing Reinhart out. Forsling will get credit for the goal.
Jack, they did a good switch off there and created the opportunity for themselves.
And this looks like an icing call upcoming against Edmonton's.
5 straight shots for Florida here after Edmonton was up 4-2, 20-12 with the shots.
Yes. Well, just a lull. I mean, that's what it was. Stetcher guilty of icing, by the way. Reinhardt sets the screen in front.
And they're going to the whip. Like Paul Maurice going to the whip here. Hard press, forecheck, selling out.
As best as I can tell, Skinner made the initial save. It caromed off Emberson and then popped over the head of Skinner and basically rolled off his back and into the net. So very similar to the play where Vasilevsky, having stopped Draisaitl, saw it carom off his D-man and into the net. Kapanen, he was crunched in the corner, took the hit to make the play. But Colson to Stetcher, a shot tipped away at the last moment as again Edmonton threatened to strike off the rush.
Kapanen's banged up.
Chipped up the right-hand side. If Kapanen is banged up, that'd be two right wingers. Here's Skinner up the left-hand side, and a hit on Tkachuk by Darnell Nurse, and he's going back to the box.
He flopped. Who's he kidding?
I don't think they called him for embellishment, though.
Just the elbow and Nurse.
Time 18:48, and Florida a minute ago was trailing by 2, and now they can tie it up. Elbow and call on Darnell Nurse, who, of course, took 4 minutes in penalties near the end of the first period that Florida cashed in.
Now, it's hard to believe that that call registers the same penalty as a direct hit from the behind right in front of the refs.
So Florida, 1 for 3 on the power play tonight, having gone 1 for 21 in last year's Stanley Cup final and 1 for 35 in the last 2 Stanley Cup finals that they played, having lost to Vegas the year prior. Face off to Skinner's right-hand side. But the Florida power play has been sharp this season, as we told you. 7th in the league at 26% coming in. Ekholm and Emberson on the Napa Auto Parts penalty kill with Nugent Hopkins and Henrique, and a puck to flex out of play off the draw. Minute to go in the period. Edmonton 4, Florida 3. And boy, have we seen some shifts in this hockey game. Oilers scored 3 in a span of 3:04 and then had one kind of laissez-faire shift in their own end, and Florida was able to get a bounce to draw within 4-3. Bennett face off against Henrique, right side of Stuart Skinner. Off that draw, Reinhardt ducked into the slot, chipped it out for Verhaeghe. Ekblad gives it right back to him. 50 seconds to go in the period. Lundell got the assist on the Forsling goal, and now Ekblad operating up top, high slot on the power play. Reinhardt loads up, shoots, saves, Skinner rebound, loose for a moment, and Henrique shovels it into the Florida bench with 37 seconds to go in the period, and another faceoff will be held to the right of Stuart Skinner.
Chuck out there stirring up things.
There'll be a carryover of about 48 seconds into the third period. So Florida can kind of load up its top line for the balance of this period and then come right back with them to start the third if they don't score. Derek Ryan will take this D-zone draw. Out there with Janmark, Ekholm, and Emberson, and Ryan powers Bennett to the ice, and that allowed a routine clear for the Oilers. That was good work by Derek Ryan. Bobrovsky up to Matthew Tkachuk at center. The Panthers carried in left to right. Laid off the boards to Ekblad. Snap shot deflected away by Connor Brown. Kept alive by Verhaeghe. Up top, it's Sam Bennett, left circle. Fighting off a check from Janmark, who poked it away, and Emberson will rifle it down the middle. I'm not sure Florida's going to have enough time. Bobrovsky with 10 seconds. Panthers are going to run out of time here in the second period. 3 seconds. Ekblad a drive from beyond center, stopped by Skinner, and that'll be all. And Edmonton will take a 4-3 lead into the dressing room. The Panthers are perfect when they lead after 2, but Bob, they have not won a game all year long when trailing after 2, as the Oilers will take a 4-3 lead into the dressing room again on the strength of that 3-goal outburst in a span of 3:04. Florida, as we talked about, a 48-second power play to start the third period.
Well, it's been an odd game, a wild game. Some guys are going to have to step up. We're not sure on the status of the potential return
of Zach Hyman.
Zach Hyman, who's got 2 goals in this game after getting hit in the face of the puck. But there's been some big goals and some pucks put to the net. And what was the problem for Edmonton after they got the 4-2 goal? What didn't they do?
Get the puck out. We'll talk to Connor Brown about that in just a moment.
He's ready to go.
Connor, this game obviously turned on a sequence midway through the second period. Where did you feel was the shift that kind of got you guys moving in the right direction in this hockey game?
It's tough to point to any one thing. I mean, for us, it's just about building shifts one after another. I thought that we strung a few together and we were able to capitalize.
Kind of like, Vasily Podkolzin. I don't know if he's been a surprise for you, but he has been for me. You get hit like that, there's a lot of guys that would just stay down, maybe try to sell it. Instead, he goes right back at it and fights a guy he fought once before. He's brought some energy, hasn't he, Connor?
Yeah, you're right, Bob. I mean, that speaks to his character. I mean, that's kind of the mindset that he has. He works as hard as he can. He battles as hard as he can night in, night out. So we're lucky to have him.
Did you get the puck? That was your 100th goal in the National Hockey League.
Yeah, I think Hyman went over and grabbed it. So nice little milestone.
Just wanted to make sure. Congratulations.
See you guys. Take care.
All right, that's Connor Brown. His 100th goal gave the Oilers the lead. We don't know whether it'll be for good. Right now, it's Draisaitl's power play goal that sets up as the difference, and obviously the Oiler penalty kill, which has been much better in the last 4 or 5 weeks, will have to come to the fore once again, especially to start the third.
The Oilers have scored. I mean, there's been a couple ugly goals for both teams. The Oilers have scored a couple beauties in this game, but Stuart Skinner's had a couple pucks kind of sift through him a bit. The power play goal off that deflection.
Well, I don't think Bobrovsky's happy about his game either.
Third or fourth.
No.
But, the first...
This is a 4-3 game. It could be a 2-1 tilt.
If both guys are locked in.
Right.
But they haven't seen that.
If Skinner plays the way he did Saturday afternoon and Bobrovsky plays anywhere near what he did in Florida's 4 wins in the Stanley Cup Final, I think it's right there. Bob, I will say this. I'm curious to see whether we see more 5-on-5 in the third period, because the one stark contrast between this game and the Vegas game on Saturday afternoon, a lot of stops and starts to this one, not a lot of rhythm and flow.
With them not having, like when we saw Vegas the other night,
they were fully healthy.
When's the last time we saw Vegas where they had everybody?
Yeah.
I can't remember the last. And you know what? They're good. And their strength down the middle.
Those were the 2 best teams in the West, I thought, on the ice Saturday afternoon.
And you thought, I think we both thought Vegas was going to bounce back this season, and maybe Vancouver, based on some some things that happened a lot.
Vegas came within an eyelash of beating Dallas. I mean, Dallas came close to beating Edmonton, but Vegas almost had Dallas.
Kelly McCrimmon told us before the first game of the year, he said, Bob, we had a better team last year than we did.
They were up 2 games to none going home against Dallas.
And then Wyatt Johnson got him. What a great pick for Dallas. Anyhow,
Let it go.
Maybe talk to Paul Coffey on that one. But for Connor Brown, he's up to 6 goals. The Oilers have got some secondary offense here. Obviously Hyman, and we're going to be watching that. And to me, the only way he can come back in this game is if he's wearing a cage. I'm pretty sure. We're hoping it's nothing more serious like a broken jaw or anything like that. But they're getting some secondary scoring now. The Oilers have worked their way up, Jack, into the top 10 in the league pretty much in goals for. And part of the reason was Perry was 6 goals. Brown was 6 goals. Jeff Skinner up to 6 goals. Those guys have provided some secondary offense to go along with.
But Colson's got 3. They've gotten in the last 4 or 5 weeks, they've gotten guys.
I can't reiterate the point on Colson. Just how many guys in the league would have just stayed down. And you wonder, if he stays down, does he draw the 5-minute major on that hit? Instead, he gets up and takes...
Don't turn it into a criticism.
I'm just saying. No, I'm just saying. I love the guy. We'll see what happens here with Hyman, but you nailed it. It starts with a good kill to start the third.
4-3, Edmonton, and again, Florida will be on the power play for the first 48 seconds of the final period. Bryn and Rob are waiting patiently. They're on deck. This is Sport Dealers NHL Hockey live from sold-out Rogers Place after 2. It's the Edmonton Oilers 4, the defending Stanley Cup champions 3. The Oilers, Radio Network.
From the biggest stadiums to the coziest holes in the wall. From house parties to porch hangs to pride celebrations. From your favorite fuzz shop to your local Indian spot. From noodle bars to sports bars to salsa bars. There's a Molson with your name on it. Canadian, Ultra XL. Molson. Everyone in. Must be legal drinking age.
It's our YEG with 880 Chad.
Looking to do-si-do with some of the hottest names in country music? We're chomping at the bit as the one and only Big Valley Jamboree returns to Camrose July 31st through August 3rd. Get your tickets today. Then dust off those foam fingers and find out who rules the rink as your favorite Oilers show off their talents for this season's skills competition on February 2nd. Tickets on sale now at EdmontonOilers.com.
For details on these and more events, visit 880ched.com. At the intermission, brought to you by End of the Roll Flooring Centers. Let's get flooring.
Here's Draisaitl, right circle. Defended by Kulikov down to one knee. Here's a drive and a one-timer score. Leon Draisaitl, an absolute rocket from inside the right face-off dot, set up by Ekholm, 4-2 Edmonton, and that is now 3 goals in a span of 3 minutes and 4 seconds.
And that's our highlight zone, brought to you by Century Casinos. All in, all games, all season. Century Casinos with 3 great locations in Edmonton, St. Albert, and right next door to the Edmonton International Airport. Welcome to the Winner's Zone. Welcome to the second intermission, and after 40 minutes of play, the Edmonton Oilers now with a 4-3 lead on the Florida Panthers. Bryn Griffiths along with Rob Brown here. By the way, that goal, that's the 200th time that McDavid and Leon Draisaitl have teamed up on a goal by number 29. What a team, huh?
Well, they know each other on the ice at all times, and they're making sure they get the puck in the right spot. We haven't seen as many of those goals from Leon this year. His teams have been doing a really good job of taking that play away. But if you leave it open, and the thing that's so hard to defend is he's in a scoring position that you shouldn't score from.
I know.
And he got everything on that one. Bobrovsky had no chance. And the Edmonton Oilers, at that point, looked like things were going their way until a weird goal at the end. But Jack and Bob just talked about it, and I agree. I agree with part of it. Bobrovsky has had a rough game. I don't think he has been locked in at all. The Brown goal should not have gone in.
Right.
And good on Brown putting the puck on net. Nice play by Kulak coming out of his zone. Perry keeps it alive at the blue line. But that's a save that has to be made by Sergei Bobrovsky. And on the other end, Stuart Skinner just a little bit of unluck and being a little unlucky tonight. He's had 2 weird bounces go past him, and I think he might have to watch video after the game to see how that last one got in.
Yeah, the Oilers with 3 goals in 3 minutes and 4 seconds kind of pushed them into the lead here, but it's kind of sloppy that last 5 minutes by both teams, I thought.
Well, yeah, I think if you look at the number of grade A looks that the Florida Panthers have gifted the Oilers, we're watching a replay now of the Hyman goal. Nice play by Leon in his own zone. He backing up, and off his back foot, a stretch pass to McDavid. What he was waiting for is McDavid and Hyman to get out of the zone, and then he was going to stretch them. But it was still a 2-on-2 when it came up there, and Gustav Forsling, who is a fantastic defenseman, really good defenseman, but he made a big mistake there. He comes across to Connor McDavid. Now, McDavid, Ekblad, and Forsling are all within 6 inches of each other. The puck gets passed, and McDavid kind of tips it a little bit further ahead, and Hyman's got a wide open breakaway. If Forsling stays in his positioning, it's a 2-on-2, and they're in good spot, but he doesn't, and all of a sudden it's a Hyman breakaway, and the only thing right now stopping Hyman's goal scoring is a shot by Bouchard to the face, because Hyman was on fire in this period. But big mistakes by both teams, and both teams capitalizing on those mistakes.
And the Panthers will have a 43-second slop over on the power play heading into
the holiday countdown has started.
The biggest thing is the fact that Hyman did not return after that shot up high, and for good reason. That thing was coming in pretty hard.
Well, he was leaking pretty bad. There was a lot of blood. They showed them in the hallway down the tunnel, cleaning the blood up once he moved his glove away from his face. Mandatory visors probably slowed the puck down maybe 10-15 miles an hour. I don't know if Zach Hyman is appreciative of the visor right now as he took one bad to the face, but it's unfortunate that there was a bomb from Bouchard that tipped off a stick and came right up into the face of Hyman. It is amazing that it doesn't happen more often with the shot that Bouchard has. We saw who was it the other night for Middleton from Minnesota?
Yes.
He's on long-term injury reserve. He took a puck, one of Bouchard's shots to the hand, and broke his hand. I don't know if Hyman will be back. And Bob's right. If he comes back, he'll be wearing a bubble.
Yeah.
But the amount of blood that was there was going to be a number of stitches, hopefully just stitches, and no teeth or nose repair is needed. But that was, and again, we've talked about it before. If you see a player hurrying to the bench, he's hurt, because he's fearful.
Yeah.
Of what could be wrong. So when you see a player sprinting to the bench, he knows that something's in a bad way.
Okay, Rob, thanks. We'll talk to you coming up on the post-game show. We're going to take a break, and then we'll come back and we'll take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard and much more when we return. At the Intermission is brought to you by End of the Roll Flooring Centers. Let's get flooring. This is your Ford Dealers NHL Hockey on the Oilers Radio Network.
The holiday countdown has started at Freedom Ford. Unbeatable deals on 2024 models with savings up to $15,000 and 0% financing. Plus, enjoy up to $10,000 cash back on your new Ford. Hurry, these offers won't last.
Do you have tickets to an upcoming event at Rogers Place that you can't attend? Donate your tickets to the Edmonton Oilers Community Foundation Seats for Kids program, presented by Eagle Builders. Seats for Kids provides unused game tickets for charities, allowing children and families to enjoy hockey at Rogers Place. And for many, a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. To be a part of the Seats for Kids program presented by Eagle Builders, please email edmonton@kidsupfront.com. That's edmonton@kidsupfront.com.
Real Canadian Superstore has more ways to save than any other major grocer. Check out their weekly flyer for PC Optimum offers, deals on club size, no name, and always low-priced everyday items. Visit in-store to find everything from fashion and home decor to toys and electronics. And don't forget their new Fresh Promise on produce. If your produce isn't fresh, they'll replace it and refund it. There are so many ways to save at Real Canadian Superstore. See their flyer for details. The holiday countdown has started at Freedom Ford. Unbeatable deals on 2024 models with savings up to $15,000 and 0% financing. Plus, enjoy up to $10,000 cash back on your new Ford. Hurry, these offers won't last.
This is Global News at the second intermission. I'm Zach Ferguson. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau did not speak to reporters as he left an evening Liberal caucus meeting tonight in Ottawa. It's still unclear whether Trudeau will stay on as Prime Minister, with few MPs speaking to reporters as they left the meeting. It came after Krista Freeland's shocking resignation from Cabinet this morning and an open letter posted to social media in which she acknowledges she's been at odds with Trudeau over the past few weeks. The federal government is promising to beef up Canada's border security in the face of looming U.S. tariffs threatened by incoming President Donald Trump. The government tabled its fall economic statement in the House of Commons this afternoon with a promise to spend $1.3 billion over 6 years on border security. However, Ottawa still won't say exactly how that money will be spent. Predatory towing is a growing concern in our city and right across the province. So the Alberta Motor Association wants to inform drivers to avoid getting scammed. AMA says there are accident chasers out there who show up at the scene of a collision and take advantage of drivers who feel shaken and vulnerable. I'm Zach Ferguson. Your next scheduled newscast is after the game on 880 CHED.
Today you can score at A&W. Enjoy a juicy grass-fed beef mama burger and fries for only $5. Available in-store or on the A&W mobile app at participating locations in OilCountry. This fantastic deal is available all day today at A&W.
Rogers is Canada's largest and most reliable 5G network. We're made for Oilers fans. You can stream Leon's scoring in Leduc. Watch Tide tie things up in Tofield. Or check out Connor doing Connor things in Kalmar. And even watch Stewart steal the show while you're in Sedalia. Try saying that 3 times fast. Rogers, proud partner and fan of your Edmonton Oilers.
This is a message from the Canadian Red Cross. While most of us count down to the holidays, families in Canada and around the world count on the Canadian Red Cross. Help them support over 2,700 families affected by disasters in Canada this year. Donate today at redcross.ca. Your donation will be triple matched.
Today you can score at A&W. Enjoy a juicy grass-fed beef mama burger and fries for only $5. Available in-store or on the A&W mobile app at participating locations in Oil Country. This fantastic deal is available all day today at A&W.
At the intermission, brought to you by End of the Roll Flooring Centers. Let's get flooring.
Bryn Griffiths back at Rogers Place after 40 minutes of play. The Edmonton Oilers leading the Florida Panthers 4-3. Let's take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard brought to you by Pizza 73, the official pizza of the Edmonton Oilers. Two other games in the NHL. One is in the third period. It's the Dallas Stars leading the visiting Washington Capitals 2-1. And starting up in, well, it just started actually in Vancouver, where the Canucks will entertain the Colorado Avalanche. That's scoreless right now, early in the first period. Just double checking. Monday Night Football, two NFL games. Bears at Vikings. It's Minnesota early in the fourth quarter, leading 20-6. And the Falcons are playing the Raiders in Vegas, and Atlanta's up 15-3 early in the fourth quarter. Players are returning to the ice. We're getting all set for period number 3. The out-of-town scoreboard brought to you by Pizza 73, the official pizza of the Edmonton Oilers. At the intermission is brought to you by the End of the Roll Flooring Centers. Let's get flooring. This is your Four Dealers NHL Hockey on the Oilers Radio Network.
At the intermission has been brought to you by End of the Roll Flooring Centers. Let's get flooring.
Did you know that there are 9 Napa Auto Parts stores serving the greater Edmonton area and have been doing so for more than 50 years? Since Napa first opened in Edmonton, the community has grown and vehicles have changed, but you can always trust Napa Auto Parts to provide you with the expert know-how and the best vehicle parts. And if that isn't enough, every time you visit a Napa Auto Parts store when you present your AMA card, you receive an additional 10% discount on all retail parts and accessories. Visit your local Napa Auto Parts store for more offers and expert know-how. Napa Auto Parts is a proud fan of the Edmonton Oilers.
MIC is a leader in medical imaging and the official medical imaging provider to the Edmonton Oilers. Make MIC your choice. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, the game doesn't stop for injury. MIC's sports medicine imaging specialists can help you get back in the game with a timely and expert diagnosis. Go where the pros go. For a location near you, visit mic.ca.
Experience a game day meal that's second to none. Fanfare with Skip is your all-star lineup of local restaurants this hockey season. Watch Jack Michaels give you the play-by-play on each restaurant's connection to the community and our team. Visit EdmontonOilers.com/skip to watch this month's episode with Eddie's Donair and Pizza. Then open your Skip app and tap in an order with exclusive fan access to a deal each game day during the month. Did somebody say Skip? Proud partner of the Edmonton Oilers.
All games, all season. You're listening to the Oilers Radio Network.
The Edmonton Oilers with a 4-3 lead as we head for the third period, and Zach Hyman is back on the bench wearing a full face shield. Had a chance to look at that replay a few more times during the break, Bob, and it appeared as though it might have been a visor impact sort of injury where the puck crashed into the visor, which was then driven down into his nose, which would also account for the 2 blood streams from the proboscis.
Yes, but did that visor help protect him a bit too?
I'm not saying it didn't. Yeah. I'm just saying it was a bit of a...
It was a scary shot, to say the least. That happens once in a while, especially for a guy that's a net fighter like Hyman.
He's okay. He's got the gauze going. Florida on the power play as we start the third period with a face-off win for Edmonton and a clear in deep. Adam Henrique with pressure up ice. Ekholm, Nugent-Hopkins, and Emberson out there to start on the Napa Auto Parts penalty kill. Florida looking for the equalizer. Matthew Tkachuk sends one skipping out. Aaron Ekblad looks for a lane. It's not there. Tkachuk on the goal line. Ekblad top of the circles. A shot flutters wide. May have been deflected. Rebound Sam Reinhart. Tkachuk back behind the net. Inside to Reinhart. Back to Tkachuk. He waits from the goal line. He locates Ekblad. Verhaeghe left circle. Shot blocked. And that will do it. And out of the box comes Darnell Nurse. He's got a breakaway but stumbled and never could get a shot away. And if Edmonton wins this hockey game, he's going to hear about that from his teammates.
Yeah, a little bit different situation for him. He's usually not in a position up there.
No, but still, yes. I guarantee you the guys won't miss an opportunity to give him the gears for that one. Florida with control of the puck, having trouble getting going here in the offensive zone. The Edmonton Oilers 4 and the Florida Panthers 3. Bouchard breaks up a lead pass, and it's sent in deep by Zach Hyman. Again out there with a full shield, playing with McDavid and Draisaitl. Cross-ice pass from Bouchard to Draisaitl. Left wing hits Hyman to the net for a hat trick, denied by Bobrovsky. That would have been his 6th hat trick. Bobrovsky, recognizing it was going to be backhand shelf again, got across with a blocker. But you can't blame Hyman for going back to that move.
Scored twice on him like that in the last 6 months.
Here's Gulak with a drop-off from Draisaitl. 2 minutes gone by, third period. Edmonton this year, when leading after 2 periods, has a record of 15-1-2. 15 of its 18 victories this year have come in games where they led after 40. Stetcher to center, lost the handle to Nosek, and Florida on the counter-strike. Nosek heading for the net, wrist shot save, Stuart Skinner. That's his 16th of the evening, and it keeps Edmonton's 4-3 lead intact.
What a chance for Hyman as the Oilers hit him on a break. He scored 2 beauties already, and Draisaitl threaded the needle, and blocker save from Bob.
Chris Knobloch, the 100th regular season game as head coach for the Edmonton Oilers. With a win tonight, that'd be 65 victories in his first 100 games.
Top 5 all-time, Jack?
Top 5, it'd be tied for 4th. Only Mike Keenan, Beth Gittelen, and, oh gosh, why does the name, Tom Johnson. Boston Bruins, early 70s.
Beth Gittelen, of course, was a coach for the Edmonton Oilers at one time, the WHA.
Absolutely.
Also played in the NHL at 16 years of age.
He's still the youngest ever to do so. Youngest player in NHL history. That's a record that likely will never be broken. Here's Niko Mikkola, a shot that was blocked. If it is broken, Bob, that means the rules will have changed radically, and you and I will be long since deceased. Here's Jeff Skinner. Lead pass left wing for Adam Henry. Taken over by Nate Schmidt. Sam Reinhart off to Niko Mikkola, and he'll chip it back to the Oiler line. Ekholm across to Bouchard, fired in from center. Edmonton 4, Florida 3, 16:40 left in regulation as the puck golfed out of the zone for Sam Reinhart. Open at center ice, Luo Starinen for the equalizer. Shot blocked. Ekholm stayed in the lane. The rebound ricocheted over to Podkolzin. He'll send it in turn up to Evan Bouchard. Lead pass on target, Ekholm. Lost it as he hit the Florida line. Podkolzin followed it up and rifled it off the right pad of Sergei Bobrovsky. Rebound, Nugent Hopkins. Steered out to Bouchard. Across to Ekholm. A drive. Never reached the net. Lundell on it. Checked by Kapanen. Chipped it out toward the point. Soft floater by Ekholm on net. Directed over to Forsling by Bobrovsky. And the veteran D-man will just sit on it and wait for his team to change.
Kapanen also back. He left a little bit, knocked askew in the late second.
Yeah, he was a bit ginger for a moment. Now you've got McDavid looking to find the puck at center. Stripped, and Verhaeghe kicked it back to defenseman Dmitry Kulikov. Returned up ice to Tkachuk, and now Sam Bennett flies in left-hand side, cuts to the net, couldn't finish the play. Emberson on the puck over to McDavid. Verhaeghe harassing. Tkachuk forces a turnover. Sharp angle shot eaten by Stuart Skinner with 15.5 to play in the third period. And the Oilers in search of a 6th consecutive win, leading by a score of 4-3. They're 15-0 this year, Bob, when they score 4 goals. Well, they've got 4 tonight.
Yeah. Great move by Bennett. Man, he's really taken off. 2 second-round picks is all Calgary got for Sam Bennett.
And you and I could never figure out why he didn't become a fixture in that Calgary lineup.
Because he was money against the Oilers. He played well. He played hard.
Played mean.
Nasty. Remember that game he blew up Nurse with a hit, and then he took the fight. He fights.
And it was a good fight.
It's because he fights like it's going to be his last fight.
Ryan.
He leaves nothing.
Lining up against Evan Rodriguez. Now in his 10th year, Sam Bennett certainly found a home in Florida. Here's Ryan and Rodriguez. Offensive zone for Florida to Skinner's right-hand side. Boqvist hard around the boards, and Nate Schmidt could not get over there in time, and the puck exits the zone. Rodriguez lays it off. Balinskis tied up, recovered the puck, gave it up. Wrist shot fired high and wide by Samoskevich. Rebound Balinskis. Little spin move, Evan Rodriguez. Pulls up in the corner. Played his college hockey with Jack Eichel. Return pass to the point was deflected, fired in by Schmidt. It was Buffalo that gave Rodriguez his first shot in the NHL. Boqvist tried to center, fired across, one-timer healed wide by Samoskevich. That was a good look. He'd love that one back. Good pressure from this Florida third line. Rodriguez tried to soccer it free, but it was chiseled out of there by Derek Ryan, and now streaking in left side, Connor Brown. Disrupted by Balinskis and cleared by A.J. Greer up through the middle. And Florida will shovel it in. Samoskevich got it in deep. Heads for the bench on a line change. Kulak lead pass, and he just missed Matthias Janmark, and they're going to generously give Gadjevich the race there, and Janmark can't believe it. Icing the call against Edmonton. Face off back to the right of Stuart Skinner. 4-3 Oilers, 14:20 to play.
Well, one of the things that's helped Edmonton in this game, they're at 63%. The drop now down to 61% in the faceoffs. Of course, no Barkov,
he's a force.
Yeah.
Face-off win for Nosek. Trying to get a shot off. Forsling couldn't do it against Janmark. A.J. Greer down low beneath the goal line. Jeff Skinner able to stroke it successfully back to center. Aaron Ekblad will whistle it in from the red line. Weird hop off the stanchion. On it, Gadjevich. Kept it alive for Greer. Shoveled back to the point. Forsling looks for a lane. It wasn't there. So he'll feed Gadjevich. 7 goals in 133 games for Jonah Gadjevich. Ekblad. Pass tipped. Recovered by Greer. Nosek follows it up. Gadjevich behind the Oiler net. Good shift by this Florida fourth line. Forsling will step up. Gadjevich stapled against the end boards by Emberson. Puck dislodged. Followed up by Nosek. He'll keep it down low. Florida's not getting inside, but they are hemming the Oilers in before it's finally grabbed and taken up the center by Jeff Skinner. He got blasted by Gadjevich, a bit of a blindside hit. And Skinner saying, I was hit right in the face. Where's the call? Bouchard lost the handle, and off the turnover, Florida, golden chance, one-timer score, Mikkola.
How do they not have too many
penalties? Setup. And this game is tied at 4. Nico Mikkola from Lundell. And the Finns hook up to tie the game. Mikkola, who again scored twice in a Stanley Cup final game last year, has just made it 4-4. Time 6:53. And that started with a non-call. Jeff Skinner thought he had been hit in the face and roughed. Bouchard with another turnover, and Lundell punched it across, and Mikkola finished. Nico Mikkola's third of the season. Off the draw, the Panthers with 13 minutes to go. Luostarinen just misses Reinhart. Oilers come the other way. Lead pass on the attack as McDavid to the net, spins, and then tried to dish off to Leon Draisaitl. I was surprised he didn't just explode toward the net there. In the meantime, the Panthers come the other way, looking for the lead, and they get it. A sharp angle shot by Sam Reinhart, and his 20th of the year deflects off the left shoulder of Stuart Skinner, and just like that, it's 5-4 Florida with 12:37 to go.
That's goal scorer's goal there from Sam Reinhart. We've seen both Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl bank one in off the ear. That's what he did.
2 goals in 30 seconds for the Florida Panthers, and now there's a discussion at center ice. What are they looking at here?
I have no idea.
Reinhart banks it off the mask/shoulder of Stuart Skinner. And it goes in. Kelly Sutherland in an animated conversation with Oiler captain Connor McDavid. But for now, Sam Reinhart's 20th of the year has given Florida 5-4 lead. And after Edmonton scored 3 times in a span of 3:04, Florida has come back with 2 goals in 30 seconds.
To me, Jack, this game changed the work of the fourth line for Florida.
Correct.
They banged the crap out of the Oilers. And Edmonton, and this is something it's right in front of both Jeff Jackson and Stan Bowen. The Oilers are going to need to add some size and competitiveness.
Kapanen able to jam it in.
2 games.
Sam Bennett back on the puck for Florida.
2 games in a row, teams have leaned on them to will their way back into games.
And now off a turnover, Kulak. Here's a shot coming, fought off by Bobrovsky against Vasily Podkolzin. Still more than 12 minutes remaining. That's the good news for the Oilers. Kapanen. Checked by Ekblad. But their 4-2 lead is gone. No lead has been safe in this game. Here's Kulak. Panthers led early 1-0, 2-1, and they've tied it. Kapanen off a hop off the backboards. It came in front, and Kapanen pounced and rammed it past Sergei Bobrovsky. We're tied at 5 with 11:58 still remaining. That's Kapanen's 3rd goal as an Oiler. Everyone's getting bounces tonight, Bob. This game could be 2-2. Instead, it's 5-5.
It's a tough one for the Guardians tonight, Jack.
That shot pinballed off the end boards, and Bobrovsky just lost sight of it. And Kapanen was driving by the side of the net, pounced and banked it off Bobrovsky and in. And Florida's lead lasts all of 39 seconds. We're tied at 5. Next possession might win it. Certainly the last one would seem to. Off the draw, Troy Stetcher up the left-hand side for the Edmonton Oilers. Now Adam Henrique on his backhand. Turns and tried to center. And that was picked off and laid ahead for Evan Rodriguez. Held in by Emberson. Behind the net, taken by Balinskis. He'll rifle one down the middle of the ice. That glanced off the size of Samaskevich. Retrieved by Stetcher. Kulak given the assist on the Kapanen goal. 3rd as an Oiler, 4th of the year. Time 8:02. Off an Edmonton dump in. The Panthers able to pick it up. Kulikov got blasted by Draisaitl, but the Panthers up ice. A shot off the rush and a save made on Gadjevich by goaltender Stuart Skinner. Matthias Ekholm up to center, floats one toward the net. Bobrovsky will put it to rest with 10:50 remaining in the 3rd period. You better not go anywhere. There's nothing been settled just yet tonight at Rogers Place. Back and forth we go. Florida has seen leads of 1-0 and 2-1, as well as 5-4 disappear. The Oilers at one point led 4-2. We are tied at 5. A lot of time still left. We'll come back with more 3rd period play-by-play in just a moment. This is Ford Dealers NHL Hockey, the Oilers Radio Network.
When was the last time your electricity and natural gas provider made you feel like this? Low rates, no strings attached, year-round perks, and local energy experts who always have your back with Encore by Epcor. Find that carefree energy feeling at encore.epcor.com/carefree.
Customers are free to purchase natural gas or electricity services from a retailer of their choice. For a list of retailers, visit ucahelps.alberta.ca or call 310-4822 toll-free.
The Edmonton Oilers Community Foundation 50-50, presented by Rogers, is back and bigger than ever. The largest 50-50 in sports offers early bird draws, bonus raffles, and a main jackpot, which is growing by the second. With over $100 million invested across OilCountry, your support directly helps kids, families, and communities in need. Maybe you'll be our next winner. Get your tickets right now at EdmontonOilers.com and help make OilCountry a better place.
AGLC license number 696879.
Blue-collar work deserves big-dollar perks. Get a heavy wallet with Heavy Metal Equipment and Rentals. Heavy Metal Equipment and Rentals is hiring heavy equipment technicians, maintenance supervisors, PM servicemen, maintenance coordinators, and pretty much every other position that makes Alberta go. We help move the earth that makes Alberta grow. So why not work for a company that makes your bank account grow too? Visit heavymetalequipment.ca to find your new career. Heavy Metal Equipment and Rentals, helping you move the earth. Listen on air, online, and on the Radio Player Canada app.
This is the Oilers Radio Network.
We bring you back live to Rogers Place, and this Stanley Cup final rematch has had just about everything except a predictable run of the game. Back and forth we go. Fittingly, perhaps, we're tied at 5. 10 goals on 48 shots tonight against Bobrovsky and Skinner. Nugent Hopkins wins a face-off to Bobrovsky's right. It eludes Darnell Nurse, and the Oilers will reset. Seen some strange bounces, and most pucks that have headed toward the net have found a way in by hook or by crook, their partner. Live in our Legacy Heating and Cooling broadcast booth, here's Podkolzin off to Brett Kulak. Shot by Nurse, left point, and a save made by Bobrovsky. Rebound, Luostarinen, able to punch it off the glass and back to center. Brett Kulak on top of the puck for Edmonton. The Oilers return to action Thursday night, 7 o'clock against the Boston Bruins. Cam and Bob will have that one for you on 880 CHED and the Oilers Radio Network.
Might be down a 3-line game for Edmonton. They don't play again for a few days. Don't forget that.
Bouchard lead pass for Draisaitl. That's why I mentioned the schedule, but another pass that eludes Draisaitl on an icing call against Evan Bouchard, who, don't forget, turned the puck over on the game-tying goal.
This is as tough a game as we've seen Evan have. We know he's playing through a little bit of an injury.
Gutted it out for nearly 23 minutes of ice time on Saturday afternoon against Vegas. Was hurt in the latter stages of the lopsided win in Minnesota on Thursday night. McDavid a near giveaway. Tkachuk deflected it over to Kulikov, who backhands it in for Florida. Panthers had been shut out twice in a row coming in. They'd had 1 goal in 211 minutes. They've got 5 tonight, and it may not be enough. McDavid to Hyman across the line. Hyman playing with a full face shield after having a puck deflect off a Panther and hit him in the face. Oilers do a good job of holding the puck in the zone, and now McDavid brushes off a hit from Bennett. One time to cross to Bouchard by Ekholm, and his shot blocked by Carter Verhaeghe, and Bouchard strides back to his own blue line to pick it up. Too far with a pass. They're going to wave off icing this time correctly, as Balinskis could have touched that puck. He does so with 9:10 remaining in regulation, and here comes Florida right to left. Evan Rodriguez, left wing, popped by Emberson, who then throws his body against Samoskevich. Dug out of the corner for Corey Perry. Ahead for Emberson. And now Skinner will put it into the opposite corner, looking for Perry. That's slashed free back towards center and played by Rodriguez inside the Oiler line. Ty Emberson back to collect for the Oilers. Off to Troy Stetcher. And now they'll trade the puck, the two right-handed defensemen. Stetcher chips it off the boards. That's going to be settled by Nate Schmidt. Corey Perry prowling, looking to force a turnover against Schmidt. Backhanded in by Gadjevich from center ice, and Nosek streaks in. He'll take it away from Stuart Skinner, but when he tried to knife it out in front, Adam Henrique was there to make the steal and clear back to center. Rolled back in by Florida's Gadjevich, and now Kulak over to Janmark, rink wide for Darnell Nurse. Not quite at the red line, tried to fire it in. That was deflected. Grabbed by Forsling. Punched up the left-hand side for A.J. Greer. 3-on-2 for Florida, but Greer fumbled the puck away. It was then given back in an open chance. Skinner unable to really get a read on Samoskevich, but that was a near giveaway.
Kulak made a great play.
Off a turnover, though, initially. Forsling wrapped it around. Now Lundell. Chip through the middle. Luostarinen unable to get his stick on that. Ekholm will wind it up for Edmonton back in his own zone with 7.5 to play in the hockey game. Evan Bouchard. The Oilers and the Panthers, last year's Stanley Cup finalists, tied at 5. Sandin deep, Bobrovsky. Nugent-Hopkins knocked it down for Vasily Podkolzin. This game fiercely fought but frightfully flawed. Kapanen around the boards, too far for Nugent-Hopkins, and carried up ice by Sam Reinhart. Deflected back through the middle, Kapanen overstrode, and it was shot in immediately by Nate Schmidt. Back in the Edmonton zone, Ekholm will turn. Not get it out. Nico Mikkola back on the puck for Florida. Centering pass. Quick shot score. Carter Verhaeghe. 6-5 Florida with 6:55 to play. Verhaeghe's ninth. And Florida back in front.
Just some ugly defensive zone play from the Edmonton Oilers, which had been so good over the previous couple of weeks here. Possession for Edmonton. They throw it up an empty wall. Bouchard and Ekholm are just, they're fighting it together tonight.
Mikkola and Bennett with the assists on Verhaeghe's ninth. The question is, Bob, is that going to be enough? Because nothing we've seen tonight suggests any lead is safe. Time 13:05, and it's 6-5 for Florida. 6 goals on 24 shots for the Panthers, 5 on 27 for the Oilers. And now Florida hoping that Sergei Bobrovsky can finally lock it down. Draisaitl, McDavid, and Hyman out for Edmonton, and a dart up the middle. McDavid looking to split defenders, and Mikkola rolls over with Kulikov to make the play up the right-hand side for Matthew Tkachuk, and that was batted out of play by Darnell Nurse as he was defending Florida's rush. 6:42 to play in the third. A wild one at Rogers Place, and the Panthers are back in front with 6:42 remaining. Florida 6, Edmonton 5. This is Ford Dealers NHL Hockey, live from sold-out Rogers Place, the Oilers Radio Network.
Believing in yourself takes confidence. At Portage College, 93% of grads say their education gave them the skills and knowledge they needed for their careers. That's the kind of confidence that leads to great results. Learn more at portagecollege.ca.
No mortgage payments for a whole year? It could happen with End of the Roll Flooring Center's Win Your Mortgage Payments contest. What would you do if you were mortgage-free for a whole year?
I'd probably go on vacation.
Probably take a trip and then do some renos.
Then I'd be able to definitely afford more hockey camps for my kid.
If you want to win your mortgage payments for a whole year, just drop into any End of the Roll Flooring Center to enter today. Visit endoftheroll.com for all the details.
12870 St. Albert Trail and now open at 580 Parsons Road Southwest.
From the biggest stadiums to the coziest holes in the wall. From house parties to porch hangs to pride celebrations. From your favorite fuzz shop to your local Indian spot. From noodle bars to sports bars to salsa bars. There's a Molson with your name on it. Canadian, Ultra, XL. Molson. Everyone in. Must be legal drinking age.
Portage College graduates are incredibly employable. How does Portage know? 99% of employers surveyed said they would hire a Portage grad. Get career ready at Portage College. Learn more by visiting portagecollege.ca.
All games, all seasons. You're listening to the Oilers Radio Network.
6-5 Florida, 6:42 to play in the third. Game has gone back and forth. Edmonton scored 3 goals in a span of 3:04. And here in the third period, we've had 4 goals scored in 6 minutes and 12 seconds. 3 scored by the Florida Panthers. And that's the difference in the game right now. Bouchard looking to get a zone exit off the draw. Turned it over. Luostarinen centering pass. And that should have been in the net. Sam Reinhart heeled it wide instead. And Kulikov will put it back down low. And the one thing you want in this game is the oft-repeated insurance goal. And Reinhart missed an opportunity there off another Bouchard turnover.
This is one of the toughest games we've ever watched Evan Bouchard have. Like, he's really fighting the puck out there. Not great. Not a lot's going right for him right now.
Bouchard and Ekholm trading the puck in their own zone. Shoveled up the left-hand side. Grabbed by Corey Perry. Nudged back inside the line. Lead pass, Aaron Ekblad to Sam Bennett for Florida. Heading for the net. He'll dish. Tkachuk, short side. Couldn't sneak it home. And then Skinner made a tremendous stop on Verhaeghe. That appeared certain to be in the net. And Skinner, probably his best save of the night, keeping it 6-5 with 5:45 to go. And we may look back on that stop as the one that saves the game for Edmonton. Because that puck was just sitting in the slot. Verhaeghe got inside of Adam Henrique, and Skinner was able to swallow it up. I thought that was going in, Bob.
So did I. But they are taking everything hard to the net, right? They've owned the front of the goal in this game.
Nosek, and that's their trademark. Drive by Forsling on net, a save made by Stuart Skinner. Rebound Gadjevich behind the net. Nosek swarmed under by Darnell Nurse. Played up to Troy Stetcher, and the Oilers will break out left to right. Stetcher, good first pass to Darnell Nurse. In turn, looking for Janmark, swept away, and Aaron Ekblad controlling on his backhand in his own zone. Janmark wouldn't let him escape. Brown inside to Derek Ryan, and now all of a sudden it's Stetcher open up top for Connor Brown. Already has a goal tonight as Connor Brown. Stetcher, beautiful drag move, cuts to his right. Sharp angle, tried to center. That pinballed and finally iced by Florida's Thomas Nosek. He did not want to take any chances with that puck sitting in the slot. And with exactly 5 minutes remaining, what that does, however, is enable Chris Knobloch to get his top line out against Florida's fourth line. Face off to the right of Bobrovsky, 5 minutes to go, and the Oilers in search of the equalizer.
But again, even in that sequence, Florida boxing Edmonton out front of the net.
Draisaitl digs in for the face-off against Nosek and won it cleanly to Ekholm. Across to Bouchard. This is top line against Florida's fourth line. McDavid, ridden by Forsling behind the net, back to the point. Matthias Ekholm slashed it down low, got it through Nosek. McDavid, backdoor, and missing an open net was Zach Hyman. That would have been the hat trick, and more importantly, the equalizer. Gadjevich with a backhanded clear, and Florida will get it changed. Zach Hyman will be thinking about that one if Edmonton doesn't get this game tied. McDavid, a sublime feed across the blue paint. Bouchard, the handoff to McDavid. 4:20 still remaining in the hockey game. Bouchard nearly gave it away to Luos Turinen. Then to Kulak, up to Draisaitl. Play is offside as Kapanen burst down the middle. 4:13 to go in the third period. Florida clinging to a 6-5 lead. The teams have taken 27 shots apiece, and Florida's had one more go in. We'll be back with a frenetic finish at Rogers Place, a Stanley Cup final rematch with the Panthers up 1. Late third period, action continues in just a moment. The Oilers Radio Network.
Sportsnet Plus is your ultimate destination for Oilers games. Stream more matchups than anywhere else. Spectacular! Catch Oilers action all season. Plans starting at $19.99 a month. Subscribe now at sportsnetplus.ca.
Athletes know that to advance your career, you've got to be part of a winning team. So, what about you? Are you working for a winning team? Well, here's your chance to do just that. Brandt is a strong and stable industry leader with career opportunities across Canada. We have hundreds of positions available right now, from parts, sales, positioning technology, heavy-duty mechanics, and more. Be a part of a winning team. Earn your stripes by joining Brandt today. Find out more at BrandtJobs.com.
Chemco is more than just a trusted local name. Chemco has been building industry across Canada for more than 60 years. From engineering through to commissioning, construction, maintenance, and beyond, Chemco's multidiscipline approach stands firmly on the belief that Chemco cares. It's not just what they do, it's how they do it. Visit Chemco.com and discover how they can support your project today. Chemco, proud fans of the Edmonton Oilers, serving and supporting communities across Canada for over 60 years.
Sportsnet Plus is your ultimate destination for Oilers games. Stream more matchups than anywhere else. Spectacular! Catch Oilers action all season. Plans starting at $19.99 a month. Subscribe now at sportsnetplus.ca.
Listen on air, online, and on the Radio Player Canada app. This is the Oilers Radio Network.
Edmonton's 5-game winning streak on the line. Nugent Hopkins lining up for a face-off between Podkolzin and Kapanen outside the Florida blue line. And off that draw, the Panthers will control in their own end. Mikula up the left-hand side. Luostarinen will send it in deep. Stuart Skinner will play it up the left-hand side. Kulikov, right point, hits Reinhardt. Plays it to himself on the half wall. And then it's left by Lundell in the corner for Mikula, who steps up with 3:50 remaining and puts it behind the Oiler net. We'll keep an eye on Stuart Skinner. With Florida leading Edmonton by a count of 6-5. The Oilers led 4-2 late in the second period. Walking in is Nugent Hopkins. He'll give it up to Darnell Nurse and played down low. Mikula spun off a check from Kapanen. Did not get it out, though. Nugent Hopkins curls it back. Kulak across to Darnell Nurse. Fired to Nugent Hopkins. Nurse, one-timer wide of Bobrovsky, who splayed out fully. Mikula trying to kill the play in the corner. Kulikov rolls it over to Matthew Tkachuk, who turns, feeling no pressure, will just take a skate and move it up to center ice, Sam Bennett. At the red line, Carter Verhaeghe heading for the net. Poked it on. And a right pad save made by Stuart Skinner. Sam Bennett elects to keep the puck down low. McDavid, Draisaitl, and Hyman back on the ice. Hyman already has scored twice tonight. Couldn't get started on the right-hand side. Bouchard across to Draisaitl. He'll enter the zone. 2 minutes, 45 seconds to go. Draisaitl shovels on net. Bobrovsky turned it over, and McDavid whacked it wide. Hyman in the vicinity. McDavid serves it up to Bouchard. And now Draisaitl fires, deflected just wide of Bobrovsky. And now McDavid bodied up by Ekblad. Hyman to Ekholm across to Bouchard, right point. He'll give it up for Leon Draisaitl. One-timer Bouchard, block shot. Bouchard has it back. Draisaitl in the right circle. Edmonton pressing for the equalizer. Trailing 6-5 with 2:20 remaining. It's McDavid. He's hit by Bennett. Reinhardt will angle one off the boards, and this will flutter dead before it hits the Oiler goal line. Edmonton will change. Draisaitl staying out with McDavid. Poke checked off his stick. Both players need a change. It's laid ahead for Tkachuk. He'll dump it in. Now Draisaitl heads off. For now, McDavid stays out there with 1:50 remaining. It's Brett Kulak. Long toss to Connor Brown. He'll fire it in from the red line. Kulikov crowded by Corey Perry. Adam Henrique trying to hunt down that puck behind the Florida net. Hard rim held in by Kulak. Skinner is still in the pipes with 1:35 to go. And Florida leading 6-5. Tkachuk plenty of time, and he wedges one safely out inside the Oiler blue line. Now Skinner to the bench. Nurse to Connor Brown. He'll poke it in deep. Ekblad trying to kill the play in the corner. Battling for it and clearing off the glass over the leaping Corey Perry. This will be an icing call against the Panthers. And as Darnell Nurse comes back to create the whistle, 1:15 remains and an offensive zone face-off coming for Edmonton. Now, the Oilers do not have to utilize the timeout here because their top unit has been off the ice for a significant period of time. So it's Draisaitl lining up for the face-off to Bobrovsky's right. McDavid and Hyman in the slot. Ekholm and Bouchard defensively, and Nugent Hopkins on the left half boards. Face-off win for Florida. Forsling, hard rim, held in by Bouchard. Safely down low. Forsling again, pinned in the corner. McDavid behind the net for Draisaitl. 6-on-5, extra attacker on. 1 minute to play, third period. Bouchard with his team down 6-5. Ekholm's shot was tipped. Another chance for Florida to get it out. McDavid twists it back. Bouchard fires. Save Bobrovsky. Big rebound. Bouchard. Brilliant zone keep. Here's Hyman to Draisaitl. Shovels back to Ekholm. 40 seconds. Bouchard. Ekholm high slot. Draisaitl top of the left circle. Shot blistered wide. Caromed off the boards. Bouchard to McDavid. Top of the right circle. Poked away for a moment. McDavid regains. Bouchard gives it back to him. 25 seconds. McDavid. One-timer. Bouchard wide. Rebound Draisaitl. That stayed out. Reinhardt a chance to clear. He angles it off the boards. It heads for the empty net but wide. And the whistle will go with 17 seconds to play. And now Edmonton will take its timeout, trailing 6-5 with a face-off upcoming in the Florida zone.
Oh, a couple great looks for the Oilers and a lot of heat on a blast from Bouchard. He got that one through. And then a long-range bomber just missed the net on Bobrovsky, and Draisaitl couldn't quite bag the rebound.
So the Oilers set up, but they'll be taking a timeout. 17.4 on the clock. 6-5. And I don't know what the hesitation is. Well,
they faked the timeout.
Evidently. Face off right side of Bobrovsky. We're going to finish this one right here. McDavid and Hyman in the slot. 6-on-5, and it's 6-5 Florida. Draisaitl clean face-off win. Ekholm high slot. Here's Bouchard right point. Shot blocked, and the rebound cleared down the ice. Ekholm will dash back and get the whistle with 7.2 remaining.
Didn't they tie one about 4 years ago against Florida, maybe 3 years ago, getting the last second off a ozone face-off win with an empty net?
Sounds familiar. And now the Oilers will take a timeout with 7.2 on the clock. So they faked the timeout initially. I mean, Ekholm signaled, and then they waved it off. And Florida now with one last face-off to neutralize and potentially melt the remaining time and escape this game with a 6-5 victory. Panthers scored first, led 2-1 after one. Edmonton scored 3 times in a span of 3:04, led 4-2. With less than 3 minutes to go in the second period, the Panthers scored the next 3 to lead 5-4. Kapanen tied it, and Verhaeghe with a go-ahead goal with 6:55 remaining. So Draisaitl will take the face-off to Bobrovsky's right. Hyman and McDavid stacked between circles. Ekholm in the high slot. Bouchard left point. Nugent-Hopkins at the left half boards. Reinhart and Draisaitl. Drafted second and third in 2014. Tie up off the draw. Forsling will take it to the corner and try to freeze it. It's poked free by McDavid, but Florida's going to hang on and win this game 6-5. Edmonton never got a final shot away. And the Oilers see their 5-game winning streak, both overall and on home ice, come to an end in a game they led 4-2 with 23 minutes remaining. Final score, the defending Stanley Cup champion Florida Panthers 6 and the Edmonton Oilers 5.
The Oilers got 10 shots in each of the 3 periods, Jack, but to me, a couple things were pretty glaring. Florida dominated the paint in this hockey game, and they switched the script, flipped the script in this game with a big hit in front of the Oilers bench when the game was 4-3 after a sustained forecheck from their fourth line that was running around a bit, and that was A.J. Greer, who's lucky he was in the hockey game. I mean, he hit Vasily Podkolzin from behind, dead in the numbers. Sometimes you get tossed out of games for that. And Nosek, Greer, Gadjevich, I think, changed the momentum in this hockey game. They had Edmonton hemmed in. They got a finishing shot in on Jeff Skinner. And then the Oilers were asleep, a switch on a change, and they ended up freeing a guy up at the backside. And Niko Mikkola, he's an Oiler killer. Yes. He had a goal and assist in this one, and two goals, obviously, last year, one of the games. And, I mean, it's
and a goal in another of the games, and a goal in the Stanley Cup final, another goal tonight.
But that was, for me, that was the killer. And the Oilers' puck maintenance at times defensively was horrible. I mean, part of the problem, Ted, had a couple things happen. You almost wonder if there was a little bit more emotion than you thought. And where I'm going to go with this is Bouchard had a tough break early in the game with the power play that led to the Boquist shorthanded goal. Darnell Nurse, I don't know what got said. I don't like seeing a player get an unsportsmanlike conduct, especially a guy in the league 10 minutes. Darnell took, 3 penalties in this game. The Oilers need him playing with the way he was playing. Frustrating night for the Edmonton Oilers, but also a night, Jack, I got to tell you, if I'm Oilers management, I'm looking a bit at what needs to be added here, and we'll see what ends up transpiring. We expect Victor Arvidsson potentially back as early as Thursday.
Well, you wanted heavier last year, and they went out and got Sam Carrick.
I did want, and then they did not play him in the Stanley Cup. He did not play. Derek Ryan played ahead of him. I think they need to, have that conversation with Craig McTavish today. I think the team needs a fourth line, a bigger, heavier right shot center. Where's Evander Kane going to be back? And I guess ultimately, Jack, that is part of the narrative here. If they never had a healthy Evander Kane in the Stanley Cup final last year, at some point he's going to return to his lineup. You got to love what Podkolzin brought. You got to love that Hyman battled back. I feel bad for the Oilers players. It's funny. They deserve to win the game in Vegas. Not sure they necessarily deserve to win the game Saturday. This was a 50-50 game that could be had, and ultimately Florida prevailed. And Skinner would tell you he needed to be better, and Bobrovsky would tell you he gave up 3 terrible goals in this game.
Yeah, this was not a goaltender's delight. This, this could easily have been a 3-2 game. It's dressed up as 6-5 for your final score. Ultimately, I wasn't as critical of Edmonton's performance on Saturday as some others might have been, Bob, including yourself. I just felt, quite frankly, those are the two best teams that I've seen this year in the Western Conference. I thought the quality of hockey was high, and sometimes you give up chances because the other team is good. And it's not always your lousy.
And Vegas was good. And Vegas was... Now, tonight you caught a break. They didn't have Barkov going, but I think their guys rallied around not having Barkov.
Well, they won a bunch of games early in the season, not only without Barkov, but without Matthew Tkachuk.
Yeah.
And Barkov last year caught a touch of pneumonia. They wanted to be conservative with him because he's been ill, and they don't want him gone for 2 weeks.
Think of the goals they got in this game.
Oh, it was a ragged game.
Like Reinhart banking one off the ear on Stuart Skinner. You know what? When McDavid and Draisaitl pull that play off, you love it. But when you see it scored against your goaltender, you hate it.
Well, you admitted it's a goal scorer's goal, and that's exactly what it is.
The guy scored 50. He's a star. He's a star. So, bottom line is this. Boston Thursday, they got to recalibrate.
What kind of team do the Bruins have this year?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I know this. They're nowhere near the same that they used to be in goal. Think of where they were 2 years ago in goal differential.
Right.
And they are not the same hockey club in that regard.
Well, they've lost a ton of players off that team. I mean, they've got an aging Brad Marchand. Obviously no Bergeron. They don't have a ton of scores.
Who are their centers?
Has moved on. DeBrusque has moved on. He gave them, 3 25-goal seasons.
They didn't seem to appreciate it.
Well, no, and they're fighting to score, but there's a certain standard there that's kept them in contention. There's a certain pride, and they're not going to be an easy out. They, as you know, played 2 lousy games to open this long trip they're on, and then they went in and just smacked Vancouver around 5-1, I think the final was.
Yeah.
So, I guess Edmonton...
I don't know with Boston.
Yeah.
I don't know what we're going to see. I know this. Edmonton has to manage and play the puck better. I don't know if we're ever going to watch Evan Bouchard fight a game the way he did tonight. He fought the puck from the opening shift. He got the penalty on the power play right after he turned the puck over in the Boquist goal. He could have used a save there from Stuart Skinner as well. Sometimes a guy on the other team makes a good shot. That's what happened. But this thing this game had a weird vibe and weird feel to it. And Florida, in the end, got the victory.
And Florida, in doing so, raises its record to 19-11-2, and Edmonton falls to 18-11-2. Its 5-game winning streak comes to an end. That's only the second loss the Oilers have endured in their last 10 games, and it's the first loss all year that Edmonton has suffered when scoring 4 goals. They had been 15-0 coming into this game. They'd outscored their opposition 39-17 over a 9-game stretch coming into tonight. But the defending champions emerge with a 6-5 victory. And Florida next up will await the Boston Bruins. In fact, 3 more home games before the Christmas holiday and a roster freeze. And that will be Boston 7 o'clock on Thursday, followed by a matinee with Ottawa. And San Jose first up, 2 o'clock on a Saturday afternoon, followed by Ottawa Sunday at 6. All 3 of those games will be right here on 880 CHED as well as the Oilers Radio Network. The Panthers find a way again to escape with a narrow victory over the Edmonton Oilers. Much less at stake tonight, but nevertheless a 6-5 win for the Panthers, who end their 2-game losing streak and improve to 19-11-2 on the year. Sergei Bobrovsky wasn't great, but he got a lot of support tonight, and his 25 saves on 30 shots, enough to run his record to 14-6-1 on the season. Stuart Skinner had been playing so well. His last 6 starts played to a save percentage of better than 94. He stopped 22 of 28. His record now falls to 11-8-2. The Oilers will recalibrate and reload, and the good news for them is the next game will not be played on a Monday night. They're 0-4 on Monday nights, and they've given up 18 goals in those 4 defeats. Oilers, Bruins, we'll have it for you again Thursday, 7 o'clock on 880 CHED, and that's a resigned I won't say sigh of satisfaction, but rather a sigh of disappointment from my partner, Bob Stauffer, tonight as Florida escapes with a 6-5 verdict at Rogers Place. For Bob and, of course, Bryn and Rob, this is Jack Michaels saying good night from Rogers Place. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, the final score, Florida 6, Edmonton 5. The pleasure was all ours. The Rogers postgame show starts right now.
Exclusive live interviews, expert analysis, and game highlights. This is the Rogers postgame show. Once again, here's Bob Stauffer on the Oilers Radio Network.
Panthers led early 1-0, 2-1, and they've tied it. Kapanen off a hop off the backboards. It came in front, and Kapanen pounced and rammed it past Sergei Bobrovsky. We're tied at 5 with 11:58 still remaining. That's Kapanen's third goal as an Oiler.
And that's the Centric Casino Highlight Zone. All in, all games, all season. Centric Casino, 3 great locations. Edmonton, St. Albert, next to the Edmonton International Airport at Century Mile. Welcome to the Winter Zone. Yeah, Kasperi Kapanen. Guy scored 20 at the Leafs. He's been fine in his support role. The Oilers loaded up their top line in this game, and in the third period, they ended up on the ice for all 3 goals against. Mind you, a couple of them were off of line changes in rather bizarre circumstances. But the Florida Panthers, to their credit, rallied from a 4-3 third period deficit without their best player, Sasha Barkov, and they beat the Edmonton Oilers 6-5. From the Legacy Heating and Cooling broadcast booth, this is the Rogers postgame show on the Oilers Radio Network.
When was the last time your electricity and natural gas provider made you feel like this? Low rates, no strings attached, year-round perks, and local energy experts who always have your back with Encore by Epcor. Find that carefree energy feeling at encore.epcor.com/carefree.
Customers are free to purchase natural gas or electricity services from a retailer of their choice. For a list of retailers, visit ucahelps.alberta.ca or call 310-4822 toll-free.
RS Breakers and Controls, Canada's leader in new, used, tested, and obsolete circuit breakers, MCC buckets, bus plugs, and switches. They have everything you need to maintain your aging electrical infrastructure, ensuring it operates as good as new. Their 24/7 emergency response gets you back up and running quickly, saving valuable time and money. Minimal generators or modifications needed, and like-for-like replacements mean no special inspections. Don't replace, repair your legacy equipment with RS. Visit rsbreakers.com.
This is the Rogers postgame show on the Oilers Radio Network.
No Alberta Blue Cross travel insurance, goal of the game, health, dental, travel. We've got the coverage you need. Visit ap.bluecross.ca. To me, Florida was the more physical team. They dominated Edmonton on the walls, and they dominated the front of the net. And the Oilers were, at times, the better team off the transition. Let's bring aboard inside the game analyst, Rob Brown.
Yeah, I think that's a fair assessment. Florida, we know, is a more physical team than the Oilers are, and would expect that in this game. And without an Evander Kane in the lineup, that takes a lot of the physicality away from the Oilers. The Oilers they're just not physical. I think, what is it, their 4th most in hits? I don't even know what it is, but it's not their 4th least in hits in the National Hockey League. That's just not the way they play. It was a sloppy game. It had some of the weirdest goals you'll ever see. Turnover after turnover. The Florida Panthers won. They made so many big mistakes, giving up breakaways, giving up 2-on-1s. And then the Edmonton Oilers, the same thing. This was a weak defensive effort for them. Neither goalie was good, and I know you said it earlier, that might have been one of the toughest nights that Evan Bouchard has had this year. It was, and it's funny, in the past with Evan, if he made a big mistake early in a hockey game, it affected him the rest of the night. Now, he'd cleaned that up a lot over the last year and a bit, but he fell off the opening power play. That happens. It happens all the time. It happens more than you would imagine. But afterwards, he goes and takes a silly penalty because he's frustrated. And then it just snowballed for him the rest of the night.
Unbelievable how bad a night it was.
Oh, what? I mean, the goal that the 2-on-1 goal down low, backdoor to Mikkola. I mean, Evan Bouchard has the puck on his stick. All they have to do is just throw it around the boards. There was no Florida player anywhere. They're all at the bench. It was just an ugly game. It was entertaining. Very, very entertaining, but this is one where there were a lot of grade A mistakes made by both teams. And it wasn't a lot of games, Bob. It's whoever gets the last save wins. This was whoever gets the last shot was going to win this hockey game.
Neither goalie will be happy with his performance. Boston up next. I don't know what to expect.
I don't either. I've seen them play a couple games. They got one coach fired. They came back and had a couple very good defensive efforts, but struggled to score goals. They had a good game against Vancouver. They've got Marchand, who is world-class. They got David Pastrnak, who's world-class. McAvoy on the back end. They're not getting the goaltending that they've had in the past. And as you were just saying with Jack, who's their centerman, again, they've lost some big names over the last couple of years.
It's crazy.
So I would imagine a physical effort from Boston, probably a defensive effort from Boston. I think the way the Oilers have been playing up until today, I would like the Oilers' chances on home ice against a Bruin team that's not near as good, but they've got to clean up a lot of what they did tonight.
100%. All right, Rob, great stuff.
Sounds good, Bob.
We do not have an Alberta Blue Cross travel insurance goal game. And as I mentioned, health, dental, travel, we've got the coverage you need. Visit ab.bluecross.ca. And the smart play of the night for Catelli Smart Pasta with all natural ingredients. It's the smart move for your next meal. Look for the box the next time you shop. We'll give it to Kasperi Kapanen with the bank shot to tie the game 5-5 in tight. Good presence of mind from him. This is the Rogers postgame show on the Oilers Radio Network.
Sobeys and Safeway Liquor are stocked with spirits, wine, and beer for all your get-togethers. So, whether you're celebrating the holiday season or hockey season, check out Sobeys and Safeway Liquor, proud partners and fans of the Edmonton Oilers.
Hey, Paul Brandt here. As a musician, I'm drawn to the sounds of this great province. Whether it's the wind blowing down the Rockies, the rustling of grass across the prairie, or the sweet sound of a Ford Super Duty, it's all music to my ears. Speaking of Super Duty, with heavy-duty performance that's built for getting the job done right, it's no wonder this truck has Albertans singing its praises. The 2024 Ford Super Duty is available now at your Alberta Ford dealer. Just head on in today and tell them PB sent you.
Bloom Benefits offers amazing coverage that even the toughest hockey players can get behind. With excellent coverage, they offer things like massage. You want to go? Counseling services. Let's go! Dental coverage. That was not offside. And eye exams. With custom health coverage for any group of any size, Bloom Benefits make every team better, stronger, and healthier. Plans start from just $54 a month. Rethink your benefits today at bloombenefits.ca.
Sobeys and Safeway Liquor are stocked with spirits, wine, and beer for all your get-togethers. So, whether you're celebrating the holiday season or hockey season, check out Sobeys and Safeway Liquor, proud partners and fans of the Edmonton Oilers.
You're tuned in to the Rogers postgame show on the official voice of the Edmonton Oilers, 880 CHAD, and on the Oilers Radio Network.
Let's go to the out-of-town scoreboard brought to you by Pizza 73, the official pizza of the Edmonton Oilers. Last score we got out of Vancouver was the Canucks up 1-0 over the Colorado Avalanche and a goal from Kiefer Sherwood. That is in Vancouver, and that is in the second period. Earlier tonight, Dallas beat Washington 3-1. Edmonton Oil Kings have won 4 straight games. They get Prince Albert here tomorrow at Rogers Place. And the Bakersfield Condors picked up 3 out of a possible 4 points and handed the Toronto Marlies their first regulation loss this year with a 3-2 win yesterday in Toronto. This is the Rogers postgame show on the Oilers Radio Network.
It's game on at City Ford.
With an all-star lineup of 2024 Ford favorites, save up to $5,000 on Escapes,
up to $8,000 on Bronco Sports,
and up to $16,000 on F-150s.
Plus, find 0% financing options available on all 3 vehicles.
Spin the Christmas wheel and win a holiday gift: iPads, Oiler merch, Costco cards, even trips to Vegas.
Visit City Ford on the St. Albert Trail.
Over the last decade, the world of work has changed dramatically. It's a change that can cause a disconnect between a company and its employees. But a partnership with Aon can help by making decisions that create a more flexible, engaged, and resilient workforce. Aon's experience and expertise, global understanding, and advanced analytics ensure that every client is better informed and better advised so that they can make better decisions. Whatever the next decade brings, Aon is in the business of better decisions.
Let's go to Molson Cup 3 Stars, presented by Molson, the official beer of the Edmonton Oilers. Whether it's Canadian Ultra Export or Excel, there's a Molson with your name on it. Must be of legal drinking age. Third star tonight. We will go tonight with Mikko Mikkola, who picked up a goal and assist. Zach Hyman's ninth second star, Sam Reinhart with the goal and assist this night's first start. Rogers postgame show is heard following each of the NHL broadcasts. Edmonton returns to action Thursday against Boston. For my play-by-play partners, Jack Michaels, who called tonight's game, Cam Luder's got the call of the game Thursday. Rob Brown, Brent Griffiths, Brendan Escott, studio producers, Kellen Kennedy at the helm tonight, Angie Quinnell and Eamon Hashin, and our engineer, Troy Bowler. Bob Stauffer saying so long from Rogers Place. It was an odd, sloppy, at times ugly game, and the Oilers lose 6-5.
Rogers postgame show is heard following each of our NHL broadcasts. Portions of this exclusive broadcast are brought to you by Ford, official partner of the Edmonton Oilers. Built Ford proud. Molson, official beer of the Edmonton Oilers. Whether it's Canadian, Ultra, Export, or Excel, there's a Molson with your name on it. Must be legal drinking age. And Rogers, proud partner and fan of the Edmonton Oilers.
To the net, backhanders.